Welcome to the Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Also below this video you can get £50 for swapping your UK electricity supplier to Octopus Energy. Speaking of Patreon, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon, so a massive shout out of thanks and appreciation to Philip Simon, Will Brax, Melby Styles, Troy Shuker, Bose Nail, Joseph Pizarro, Samson, Maris, Mobile Max 777, Neo the One, Lost Cat FE, Rob W, Open Minded, Reese Pound, Dale West Watson, Mike, Muted, Dick Earth Skeptic, an A-Literalist, Maria Neelands, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Rob H, The Real Gabster, Windrider, Liam Nedrick Jr., Abraham Mohammed, Naibai, Adrian Quintana, Skeptic936, Life is Short, Fireball X, TheFlatEarthChannel.com, Texas Mike, Edwin Johnson, Kirsten Smith, and David Wayne Foster. So a massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I'm going to hand over to whoever is in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their conversation while I set up for today's live show.
Bro, wait, let me give you a better one. 8 minus 4 is 4. So you check that with 4 plus 4 equals 8. You cannot check this math. So I just want to know how that works.
Morning.
Morning.
Did you guys see Eric DeBay's latest video?
I think we're interrupting a conversation that's taking place, Neil. Hold on. Sorry, Harp.
It's okay.
Damn,
The conversation was basically over. Go ahead. Wow, what the hell's going on in the background?
Yeah, I asked Neil to subtly to stop talking, but he carried on anyway.
Yeah, because I want to break balls.
I'm sorry, I'm not breaking your balls. You've just completely ruined Harp's flow. Now we're having a conversation.
I want to break balls.
Ugh.
Not you, me.
We're
breaking
just
balls.
We're just going over that eighth. We were just going over that 8th mile thing again. Like you can't get back to. Were you there? Did I mention that to you? Right about the 8th mile being 1/8 of an inch. Yeah, I definitely did. So you can't get back to 8 inches per mile. You can't get back to 8 inches. Once you go backwards, you can't go forward. So how do you check that math? Nobody's telling me how to do this. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're taking 8 inches per mile squared, they're telling me that if you go back to 1/8 of a mile, it's 1/8 of an inch. So how do you check that math by going forward? Because 1/8 times or 1/8 squared is 1/64. You're now going in reverse, whether you use fractions or decimals, doesn't matter. You're going in reverse to try and check that number. So how do you do it?
Yeah, you don't. We don't have a geometric horizon. There is no drop, so you don't. 1/10.
Hello.
I must be. Go ahead, John.
Hey, John.
I was going to say, I noticed that there's a disturbing thing where people are saying that knowing is a subset of belief.
I was waiting for you to get here.
Yeah, and they said, as proof, name something you know but you don't believe. It was actually, I think Paul Hall that said that. And I give it to him, and they just completely ignored me and kept on.
So if I just think of something nice and basic, I know my car is a Lexus. I don't believe it. I know it. You say, give me something that I know but don't believe.
Right. Well, and my example was geodetic surveyors know they measure a plane. They don't believe it's a plane.
Right. That's a good example.
You know, like that's dead nuts hitting them in the face with it, and they just completely ignore me. and keep on saying that knowing is a belief.
That's why they miss it in plain sight.
Well,
Well,
that
that's a
dude that
problem.
went on yesterday and refused to understand the
if like-
definitions that I posted, it was just incredible. His role is flat earther. You know that, right? He argued that just
Yeah.
like a baller.
So, why is this?
Yeah,
What
I
is
was
this?
there when he was when we were. I was there. He was doing this, and then Paul came in. I forget what Paul said. It seemed like he was agreeing with them on the definition of the word belief. Definite belief and knowing is
He did.
completely different. If you know
Yeah,
something, you no
surprise.
longer believe it. You know it, and they would not accept the definitions that I posted straight up on the word belief, and then on the word knowing and understanding. They just completely just redefined the words he was reading. It was incredible. The dude is not a flat earther. I'm sorry. I know Steve says give him another chance, and I will. Telling you right now, something ain't right with the dude.
Well, he
Can't
got on
argue
me
a word
because
that
I
is
didn't go.
clearly defined.
He got on me because I didn't go after Anthony, because Anthony was. I accused him of saying that he thinks the Earth is a bigger ball. So he got on me and said, "Well, how come you're not going after Sleeper Warrior?" I said, "I'm about to. You didn't give me a chance."
Who's the person
If
of
the-
interest here?
Like that bigger ball thing with the Modus Tollens, assuming that it's just a bigger ball,
It's retarded.
probably worse. Well, it's worse than knowing the Earth is flat.
Agreed.
Because then you're saying not only are they lying to me about everything, but I know for a fact that there's all this other land somewhere else, all this extra area.
I'm more concerned
Okay.
with what it has to do with the stars and the planets and all of that stuff up there.
Mic check.
Go ahead, Tent.
Hey,
No, I
Ted,
just want to know if I was heard. Who are we talking about here?
yeah, you can be heard. I'm just gonna say hello to a
I
few
don't
other people.
know.
Though. Just 1 second.
Hey, so you oh shit.
Hold on 1 second. Hello, Adam. Hello, Sleeping Warrior. Hello, Eli. Hello, Brian.
Hi guys.
Hey everyone.
Hola.
Hey Nathan. Hello.
We're just preparing our presents still.
Don't worry, I'm gonna make sure I don't interrupt you, Adam.
Putting a spreadsheet
here-
together, you know it's serious.
Oh God, is Neil gonna turn into a bloody martyr?
I just know who to interrupt and who not to.
Okay, so
What is
I'm watching something this morning, and ultimately it's about the condition of our society and who takes accountability for why it is the way that it is. Now, I'm bringing this up because I see a parallel in this conversation. Because when people are asked a set of questions where the logic would lead you to say that you yourself are accountable for the change that you want to see, that you're asking for, that you're demanding from the other side, when it's actually you that created this situation, they do all the things in the world to deflect and not answer for it. And I'm like, well, how did that happen? Like the communication breakdown. Like, how does it happen where you ask someone a direct question and they can't answer it? Because
Arwen
if they
summed this up.
can't answer it or don't answer it, then the problem never gets addressed.
Yeah, Arwen summed this up, and I trimmed it out on the bit about the video about cats and his black swan labelled by them white swan. So at the beginning, I put Arwen's little chunk where he says, "The globers want the Earth to be a sphere, but they don't want the consequences of it being a sphere." And I thought that was well said.
Wow, good one, Owen.
Yeah, that was good.
I must have been talking when he said it, right?
God,
Yeah, that was very
So-
well said of Aaron.
I'm gonna do better today, I promise.
Just to let you guys know,
Well, there's also
I said to Ruhif, "Are you going to join today?" I said, "And see how you you debunk your own ball." And he said, "No, I'm in bed." Now he knew that I was challenging him to join today, and he knew that he should be joining, and he's gone to bed instead. So let it be known that Ruhif has ran away.
compared to Ruhip, it's about 1 a.m. there now. I remember from last time when we had Ruhip on the Isle of Man, he would always come and it would be like very, very small hours of the morning for him. So, I mean, that's a fair enough excuse as far as I'm concerned.
Bollocks! He knew that it was being done. No, he knew that I was challenging him.
I don't care. We don't.
So
I don't.
let me close out my point.
You go ahead.
So the point that I'm trying to make is, instead of being honest and saying, because we're asking for proof of a ball, oh, we don't have proof of it because perhaps it's bigger. Why can't you just say there's no proof of it?
Yeah, but it can't be
No.
bigger, Eli, because the stars and everything, it relies on that
That's not what he's asking.
39.59.
Yeah, that's not what he's asking. We know why it can't be a bigger ball. It's set in stone at 39.59. You're right, Neil, and you're right to point it out. But he's asking, why would you take it to that place next? And it's because of disbelief. They can't quite fathom it. Cognitive dissonance kicks in immediately. How can I have what I had and when it's demolished still keep it? So that's what they go to. It's cognitive pain.
I just think they don't think it through, to be honest with you, Nathan. I don't
Well,
think
no.
they think it through. They just shoot it out and that's it.
I used to think that too, but back a while, I thought they are actually geniuses. They're going through this, they've got this ability to be able to contradict themselves in the same breath without in any way stuttering about it or seeming like they realise what a glaring contradiction they've just presented. You know, the guy the other day, we can see it, it is physical, but we cannot see it. That was one full sentence from a Glober. Well, that's cognitive dissonance. In other words, they're not intentionally trying to weave this deceit between truth and lies. It's just coming naturally because they've got a contradiction they've got to overcome.
Yeah, I see your
something they
point.
know but they don't believe. Something they know but don't believe.
It's hard to make that as a statement without it being contradictory, because if I say, I know it is believed that the Earth is a sphere, but I don't believe the Earth's a sphere, that's a self-contained statement that doesn't have me stating that I believe it, but have it be not true or true in the same statement. You know, you can't really have that statement that's being argued by Paul. And that brings me back to the point I was going to slip in there for anyone who was saying he was behaving like a baller. Who was it? Was it Harp?
Yes, it was.
Human nature. It's not baller. Not baller. Dealing with people. People are people. The fact that they react like this to their religion being taken apart is no different to anybody else if their equally farcical religion was being taken apart. I think they'd react in the same way.
That's why I'm psychoanalyzing. That's why I'm saying, like, what we're in, they don't understand that we're in the state that we're in, literally because of how they've reflected their emotions. Because all I did when I came to the conversation is ask, I came across this information. Say, friend, isn't this odd? Isn't this a contradiction here? That's when it all began.
Yeah, but Eli, look at Lemon yesterday on Discord.
Oh my
He
God.
just came in and started with this ether, claiming that if you suck all the air out of the vacuum, whatever's left, that's the ether.
So what did I respond to you with just now? Because I just posted it in the chat, or do you want me to read it? Because
No,
I'm
read it. I
actually
can't
going
get
to
there.
answer you. Okay. So what I said was, chat is loading. Sorry. 2 seconds. Okay. So it says, because you asked me what the conclusion of that conversation was. And I said, well, the conclusion is that his belief is necessitated by the condition that there are particles with space in between them, which cannot exist. So there is a space in which there can be no space, so it's ether. Sounds like a paradox to me.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. Flat Earthers are doing this. They're creating more confusion.
No.
Want space.
People are doing. That's the point that Nathan is trying. people are doing this, and there's something psychologically wrong with them.
Yeah, they want space. They want space to be real.
Right. Go look at Freud or Bernays. Just study those two characters and their thoughts and feelings, their pseudoscience on this matter. I think you'll find it very interesting.
Thing about the looks of
So by the way,
by saying that, sorry, by them saying that once you remove everything, what's left is the ether, that is making it undebunkable. You know, as Brandon calls the globe, an undebunkable or
Hey, baby.
unfalsifiable
Would you please
model,
give me some
because they're not
toilet
giving anything
paper?
to falsify it with, if you know what I mean.
That's the same as saying when you remove static force and when you remove magnetic force, what you're left with is gravitational force that we can never get anything to accelerate because of. It's nonsense.
Yeah, same.
Well, if you
Oh,
take
they
everything
did get
away,
it
then
properly.
you've got nothing left. So there's nothing. You can't call nothing ether.
No, but that's what they
Nathan,
do.
The globe.
Could I have the form, Nathan, to make a special request for today's show, please?
Maybe.
I'd like my presented screen image to be like the backdrop for the show, so that anyone that joins today can see it. Because I'm prepared to make the claim that this picture does not show any drop at all. It proves that the Earth cannot be a sphere. And let's see if anybody takes the bait, because I'm ready today. Me, Meekin, and Brian have been having a conversation beforehand, and we're all prepped, armed, ready to go. And we know what they're doing wrong, and we can prove it within the maths.
Excellent. Getting a bit of feedback from you there, Anthony. Or is it Eli?
Oh, it's because it's a bit loud.
I think it's might have been Eli. Go ahead, Eli.
I was gonna say I agree, because maybe some of us are under the impression that no one's taking the bait, no one's talking about it because they don't want to hiccup. That's a lie. They're talking about it everywhere other than in front of us.
Yeah, exactly. Not with us though.
Yeah, but they can't come to this is the thing. They can't come to us because they know that we know how to debunk it, so they will keep away. So let's poke the bear and make all the representations that we need to encourage someone like the Rumpus. See, the thing is, Rumpus knows this is dirty. He won't argue this, Rumpus. I've heard him say, no, he's got caution. Brilliant.
I heard you jumped on the wagon yesterday.
I contacted him on Sunday, saw it on Saturday or Sunday morning. I contacted him on Sunday, and he said about this picture and the whole ranty thing. He said I can't remember his exact words, but he basically said it was all dubious and ranty is bad for our globe out.
See, this is where you see the real Rumpus, right? Because Rumpus knows that there's got to be caution applied here, but everybody else is like, "Hi, Ranty, welcome back to the ball. Here's your seat over here."
Yeah, Rumpus.
But wait a second. They said that he was on board with it, Rumpus. I'm sure I heard Don
Correct.
Gio and a bunch of them say he's on board.
Correct.
But he may not be on board
He
with,
was in the
with
chill.
ranty though.
He was in the
Sorry.
chill room yesterday explaining it.
Tell us more.
Somebody was there.
Yeah, fill us in.
I wasn't in there. I didn't want to hear his explanations, but they were saying he was using pixels.
Oh yeah.
And trigonometry on his screen. I have no idea what he was doing. It was some kind of insanity, and he came to the conclusion that the picture is proving the globe. Yeah.
Oh yeah. When he's applying his begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculations that exclude perspective, even though they're straw manning us with angular size. I love it.
So angular size is not angular resolution, right?
Yeah, angular resolution and angular size are essentially the same thing. So the angular resolution.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was wrong when I said they weren't including that angular resolution.
Well, the angle that you can resolve something. Yeah. To the point of diffraction. So beyond the resolution, you can resolve it, is the diffraction limit. So there is a point where the two transition between what you can resolve and what you can't. And that's down to the. In this instance,
that's what I wanted to tell you. I'm sorry. That's what I wanted to tell you today on the Eric Dubé's new video. He speaks about that. He speaks about relative density, but it's mostly about space and all of that nonsense. But it's like old proofs that are coming back. They still don't know how to use the word science, though.
No, they don't. It's a mixed bag, that whatever it's called level. We'll maybe get into it in the show. I mean, I commended it. I put some nice comments on there. obviously help the algorithm, go and comment on Debay's video. It was released maybe 6 or 7 hours ago. Yeah, go and check it out. If you're a flat earther and you're already aware of a lot of the stuff, you might find it a bit samey because you've probably seen a lot of the information already. But I don't think it's necessarily aimed at that market. It's not trying to preach to the converted, I don't think. I was a bit disappointed none of our arguments are in there, but that said, tip of the spear rather than an opener to the subject matter. You can't necessarily expect our arguments to be in there because it probably, overwhelm people when they're just coming to it as a tertiary glance and what is this flat earth thing? But it
Yeah, but what
highlighted-
about gas pressure out of container? That should have been in there. I was waiting for that one.
Yeah, I went through it just to see if our arguments were in there, if I'm honest. That's the main reason I watched it. But there we go.
So he's got nothing good in there?
That's not what I
He's
said.
just preaching the same old crap?
That's not what I said. Don't put
No,
words
it's
in my
pretty
mouth.
That's
good.
how I
Watch
took
it.
Don't be nasty, right? Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Also, below this video, you can get £50 for swapping your UK electricity supplier to Octopus Energy. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. Now, we are joined by Arwin. I am in no doubt as I look across at my screen, which has gone all dark, and yes, indeed, it is Arwin. But we're also joined by the Adam Meakin, Eli, Sleeping Warrior, Neil, Father of a Soul and Child, Brian's Logic, 10th Man, and a whole bunch of people in Discord. So welcome, one and all.
Hello,
Hey,
hello.
good morning.
Sorry for joining in the middle
everyone.
of your intro.
That's okay. I expect it now, Arwin. Did I miss anybody?
A special bidet to Neil.
Neil's very excited, aren't you, Neil?
Huh?
I waited till the end to say hi, so I
You
don't
find a
cut
new
nobody off.
bone? Got a new bone, Neil?
Let's not make Neil the whipping boy, right? Let's have some respect.
All right.
Come, Neil.
Oh, God. Why did I plant that seed? Stupid idiot, Nathan. Right, let's start the show. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge horizon, formerly known as Earth curve?
There's an interesting observation going around that shows that the geometric horizon that doesn't appear in the image is significantly further than it should be. I watched Fight the Flat Earth last night, or I saw some of it this morning, and I saw Ranty presenting some evidence that basically I don't know how he interprets it the way he interprets it, and I haven't seen where he's explained it, but I'm going to make the claim right now. If there's anybody that wants a piece of me today, a chunk of my flesh, today's the day to join. There is no drop in the image presented on screen. It proves that the Earth cannot be a sphere. If there's any of you little gobshites on keyboards that want to attack, today's the day to do it. Let's join, present your maths, and we'll go through it, and we'll show how you lot misrepresent the maths for a sphere to make everyone think the ball's flat and make everyone think that what we actually see is a flat projection but somehow calculates into a sphere. So if you hate me as much as what you all do, join today and let's have it out. We'll sort this one out. Want this one out once and for all today.
We already have his black swan.
We've got that. But in specific response to that first question, I've got to know. I did a little bit of Photoshop, which isn't the maths we're going to talk about later if the ballers want to bring that up, mate. But if I share screen.
Once you've got it, now I can see you presenting, but once you've got it ready and sized the way you want, tell me and I'll put it on.
Okay, that's as good as I can get it from Photoshop.
Okay, just before you go ahead, shout out to hold on, let's just get rid of that. Israel Hernandez for joining as a member. Thank you very much. Just stick you on, Adam. You're presenting. Go ahead.
I'd just like to point out how wholly unscientific and not empirical this is. But Ruif kindly sent me this picture where he's identified some heights and the likes. Hartefeld, the Green Crag, a separate area which Riley's identified at 311 meters, and another area lower on. I was just looking at it and I thought, well, do a bit of old school ranty, let's stick a ruler on it. So what I've done is I put the ruler on and I've scaled it so that the bottom is at sea level, or where this visual horizon is, and then I've scaled the ruler up to this highest point so it was accurate as you can, so it's 649. Getting feedback, Nathan. So I've set the ruler at that, and it's quite interesting, look, because things marry up. Certainly this area here, before we're getting into any compression, look, at 311. So this is correct. This distance is scales from 0 to 650 and 0 to 311. The scale fits in. We're a little bit out here, look, at 273. It should be a little bit higher, but we're getting whatever kind of distortion going off. So it's skewed this one out a bit. This is another area that I assume, again, is correctly identified. But what you will see from the scale is that the bottom of this mountain is 0, sea level. Yeah, fitting their scale. So the scale works from here to here and down to here. And this actually then says 0. This is flat. This is the bottom of the mountain that you're seeing. Finished.
That's a quick question.
Yeah.
So based on this image, where they've got this first line with an arrow drawn to it, what's the approximate elevation between 0 and just under whatever your scaled ruler is? Just under 2. You've got a line. Just go down to 2. Yeah, that line there. What's that height above sea level? Do you know?
200. Well, this here is from this point here. I've drew the black lines in, so that's all I've done is to put it on the wall. But it's stated that this is 273 meters. This is the interesting point, because this
hold
is
on, sorry.
300...
Just before you make another point, I just want to get my question in. So that line at number 2 is 200 and something meters.
It's stated as 273 meters above sea level. Yeah,
273 meters. And just out of interest, these people in the foreground, are they approximately 270 meters tall?
They're about 180. Yeah.
Sorry, just want to make this point clear. I'm just going to ask you again. So between 0 and, we'll say it's millimeters, between 0 and 9 millimeters from what I can see on my screen, although it's a bit small for me, that's representing over 200 meters.
Yeah.
And these people where you've got your mouse, they're about that sort of size. Would you not agree?
No, that's a toy cow near you.
I'm just wondering, when we come to ask, why exactly would we be ascribing feet or meters to this little line when clearly there's been an angular size change?
Yes, I'm not. And then what I've done with my ruler is just to apportion proportionality on the known things. So at no point am I saying this is this high. people are saying these points are marked at that, and I've just marked the 3 points and placed their proportionality with each other to show that proportionately they fit from sea level to 649 meters. They fit within that proportionality. I'm not making a claim of any height. I'm saying that the highlighted points with known heights fit within the proportionality of the image,
Okay.
which would demonstrate that you're seeing the whole image.
And I agree. I understand your point. You're showing that with the scale of what the mountain is in the picture, based on that distance, you're seeing down to sea level. And I agree. I understand your point. And yeah, absolutely, it's a black swan. But in terms of the mathematics that's being applied when they're detailing it, is these measurements that have got 311 meters, for instance, was that written by them?
Yes. Yeah. That's just.
You see, that's a problem. You see, as I've just managed to highlight with these little people, the scale that you're using at feet and inches is totally erroneous on account of the fact that as things go into the distance, they get smaller. So when you start ascribing meters values to things that change their apparent size as they get further away, you end up in a situation where you're counting pixels, or in this case millimeters, and saying it's X amount of meters, when in reality the picture shows perspective, because at the same scale that would make these people in the foreground hundreds of meters tall, but obviously they're closer to us. So there's something other than the feet or meters value that needs to be ascribed, bearing in mind that we have perspective. So this destroys the calculator they use for Earth curve, because they'll look at a perspective view, give it meters values, and then do the maths in orthographic where nothing changes with distance. But the picture does, and that's what they're studying. We've already destroyed this. We've destroyed it at the Isle of Man. We'll destroy it again. More than happy.
The proportionality again demonstrates that point you're making, Nathan. Here, you could try and pretend between here and here that it is 1 for 1. There is no changing in the image. You could pretend it's there. But if you see here, look, the difference between and here clearly demonstrates, if these heights are correct, that we're no longer able to translate this proportionality into real terms, into feet and inches. It's just not doable. There isn't the relationship between here and here for the same meter is different between here and here. The image is not, it's not an orthographic translation that you're working with. It is a perspective image, and this scale at this point here really does demonstrate the compression of the image and the perversion of the height. Because these are at very, very different distances as well. Remember, this mountain's a lot further back than this foreground, so it's subject to a lot more effects.
Indeed. So just to reiterate, the reason it's being ascribed with meters values is because it removes that aspect. It removes perspective, and the effect thereof are labelled as Earth curve, when excluding perspective in mathematics that sees the side of your own head and a target that doesn't change in size even though it's far away. It'll remain at the feet and inches or meters value as ascribed here. So it doesn't matter if this mountain is 1 million miles away. Oh, well, it's still 311 meters tall. Why can't we see it? Well, it's 1 million miles away. Well, yeah, but it's still visible in orthographic view. I just draw a line between me as an observer and this as a target at 311 meters, bigger than me, right? And write 1 million miles on it. Of course, without perspective, that's not accounted for with feet and inches or meters. That's why they do it, so they can call the effect Earth curve. Hence the name of the calculator, begging the question, it assumes it's there to begin with, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking, Earth curve calculator.
Exactly.
Can I say something quickly on that?
Good.
Just a small statement, Anthony, before I'll be very fast. From the base, they're at 0 on Adam's photo. Back up to the top of that mountain, that's not a straight wall up. That's going back further and further into the background at an angle. So angular size change for the middle of the mountain will be less than the top, because the top is further back than the middle. And the base is closer again than the middle. So the middle is further back than the base. So you have that it has to be taken into account as well.
Yeah,
If we want to get really technical about it.
yeah, exactly. Perspective. The angles are going to increase as you get further away. And if you're going to apply a linear scale by measuring pixels, you're under the assumption that the stuff further back at the top peak, which is slanted away from you, isn't further away and scales with feet and inches. It doesn't. It's complete nonsense. And the only reason it's done that way is so the effect of it getting smaller and smaller and smaller against the deck where the angle's the most limited, forcing it to disappear from bottom up due to angular limitations, they can call that effect Earth curve and say, why is the 10 meters missing? Yeah, what do you mean 10 meters? 10 meters at 75 miles? What, you having a laugh? You can't see a brick that's 8 inches at 1 mile on the horizon. It's too small. But if you build on that brick an entire skyscraper, it's easily visible. Doesn't mean the brick at the bottom is. That's due to the angular limitation. Now, that's not the only effect that causes things to disappear bottom up. There's a whole list of things that causes it. So to ascribe a straw man argument to some model that presumably is being referenced in the case of Walter Bislin, that he can sit side by side with his exclusive of perspective calculations that hijack it and call it Earth curve, and then say, yeah, but the flat earthers just say it's angular size relationships. Like, who says this? Walter Bislin? He's not a flat earther.
So let me present my screen, Nathan. Can you see my screen?
No, but you will be in a moment. Yeah, go ahead.
So just to reiterate what Nathan's saying there, look at this observation in question, right? The mountains that we're talking about. They're 58 miles away. When we put the observer height in feet, the numbers that they give us back here, for example, the drop, right? The refracted drop, the 1900 feet, they always apply that 1900 feet against the mountain as though the bloke stood there right next to it. And they go, oh, yes, that looks like it's the observation that we're seeing. It looks like it's a sphere. But what they need to do is reduce the size of the mountain over distance to down here somewhere because it's far away, then work out its angular size based on how far away it is. But then they've got to drop that angular size into the geometric drop. So it's not just the mountain size the way it is, the way they present it to us as though it's with his nose against it. They've got to push it all the way back and drop it into the hidden value, the geometric hidden. When they do that, the effect is, well, put it this way, we've checked it. We've ran the numbers today and we've checked it. And we know that when they present this image on screen, if the Earth was a sphere, these mountains would be half the size of Blackpool Tower and hidden by most of the city of Blackpool. So Blackpool Tower will be double its height. But it's clearly not, is it? So these mountains here have got to be significantly lower and basically covered by the roller coaster, and they're not if it were a sphere. The fact that we can see these mountains at all proves that it can't be a sphere, because if it was a sphere, they'd all be behind the mountain, basically behind Blackpool, because they'd be that small and dropped into the geometric drop, and it's calculable. But they don't like doing the correct maths, and they like accusing us of not doing the right maths, but it's them that's doing the wrong maths, and we can prove it, but none of them will join because they get battered when they do.
What Adam was saying was that the proportionality that he was showing between the middle line and the top line and the middle line and the lower line shows that there's that it's not proportional. Is that what Adam was saying?
Yeah. Demonstrating Nathan's point that you can't look at that and ascribe a feet and inches value to it. That proportionality, how it disaligns, look, as you get there, shows that you can't take that image and ascribe it, because in that one image, look, the known heights have what you can line one up, but they don't fit. The two will fit with proportionality, but then the other doesn't, you see, so that you cannot therefore take that image and ascribe a height to it. You can't ascribe a feet and inches value to it. You can look at it proportionately and say, look at the distortion in the image. But what you can't do is take this perspective image, and hopefully that's demonstrating it then, and draw feet and inches values from it to place in an orthographic way. You just can't.
Okay, that's what I thought you were saying.
Okay.
Adam, just just
Go
by
on.
way of summary, don't go into the explanation, but what was the angular size of Blackpool Tower compared to the angular size of the mountains when the maths is correctly done? What were the two numbers that we calculated at the end?
I'll maybe the number. I've sent you a picture so you can compare it to the one we've done. I did a little bit of Photoshop on it. So open that and that will show you what Blackpool Tower should look like on the skyline compared to the mountains. So it's really just a...
What application do I need to open?
Have you got it?
What do I need to open a PSD file?
Oh, shit, I'll give you the wrong one. Sorry.
Well, while you're sorting that out, so I'm just going to go over the modus tollens argument. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959, then every distance to horizon, that's Earth curve, can be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. And the horizon in this image is beyond the geometric capabilities of a sphere. Earth is not a sphere.
Should I present this, Adam?
By all means, it's only a little mess around, but it's based on the maths to demonstrate what Blackpool should look like in relation to the towers.
So you got to understand that this is not, obviously this is the tower relative to the mountains. He's made the tower bigger to get the scale, but really what should have happened is the mountains should be made smaller. So it's backwards really, because that it's just to show the scale. But
it was easier to grow the tower than shrink all the mountains in the background. So it's literally just to show, ignore the rest of it. But that's...
Yeah. So what really we should have done was selected the outline of the Blackpool, expanded Blackpool to be much bigger, and then the mountains effectively would then get smaller. But this is where the tower should be relative to the peaks of these mountains if it were a sphere, because there should be the drop. I don't know where Ranty's getting the drop from. This is what I'm trying to work out, where he's calculated or where has he just guessed it from, because it's clearly wrong. I don't know whether he's forgotten to do his analysis while he's at his break or what. I don't know what's happened, but something's got cross-wired somewhere, Ranty.
He's not keeping up to date with the flat earth debate, maybe.
No idea. So there's Rue Hifters champion this. Any ball earthers that want to champion this, want to present to us the maths that supports your nonsense, because it's a bad day for ballers if you do the maths correctly and we can show that you're doing it wrong. Come on, ballers. Share your pain.
Does anybody from Discord want to argue this before we move on in housekeeping terms? Alrighty then.
It is epic flat earth proof.
Once again, they got a lot to say in the chat, and I have invited them in, but they don't want to.
Public show harp. We're discussing their proofs here. Don't have to tell them to come in if they want to defend it. Presumably, they shouldn't be in a back foot position where they're having to defend something that we're laughing at them over. They should be keen, willing, rushing to get here and tell us how this destroys flat Earth, right? Yeah, that ain't going to happen when we're presenting it. We're taking ownership of this picture, lads. This is ours now. You realise that? I hope you do, because it'll be definitely part of our arsenal from here on in.
Probably the irony is that Ranty said in Fight the Flat Earth's interview, he said that all he wanted was to see evidence of Earth curve in his locality. And the odd thing is, he's seen Hoy Lake, he's seen Blackpool from Hoy Lake 30 miles away, and it's not meant to be seen on a sphere. He seems to have forgotten about that. But he's seen his hometown from, 12 miles away, is it, or whatever? And the mountains in the back don't show any drop. But for some reason, he thinks that there's drop there. I'd love to know why he thinks there's drop, because the maths doesn't support it. So is it a whim? Has someone told him it? But Ranty, there's no drop here.
So Bobby Zines from the Super Chat says, any chance Ranty's switch to the ball will tie in with his podcast becoming mainstream? Not that I'm calling him a sellout, he says, of course. I don't know, what do you mean? Has he got a podcast? I didn't know he had a podcast. What are you talking about?
I think he's on about the Ghosts and Ghoulies podcast that he's doing with Conspiracy Cats. I don't know.
Yeah, it's called Almost Unbelievable, I think is the name of it, if I remember correctly. It's the correct name of it. Almost Unbelievable podcast.
Okay, someone mentioned yesterday, I think it was Arwin, that they were covering Gooses and Goalies or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's all paranormal. It's all paranormal stories. Him and conspiracy cats.
Lovely Ghibli.
Well, why not? Why not? Since the globe is dead, they got to change the subject.
Oh, by the way, Fight the Flat Earth said, Nathan, he said something like, I'd love to debate Nathan, just not on his own channel. Why don't you come and debate me somewhere? And I just thought, you're free to join any day, mate, but you can't, because all you do is when you join is giggle like a little girl. So it's not Nathan's not prepared to walk away. It's that you can't have an adult conversation.
Yeah, I know.
He came here that one time, and every time he opened his mouth, it was begging the question.
They like to chase me. I really want to debate Nathan. You see, meanwhile, Craig, I couldn't give two craps about you. You are a nobody.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, given that your desire is definitely in my direction, and there's a means of you fulfilling that desire, but you don't want to, that makes you seem kind of pathetic. So I don't give a crap whether or not you discuss anything with me ever, because you're an insignificant piece of crap to me. But obviously you're keen to chat with me, but not chat with me. Okay, that makes a whole lot of sense. Should I give the same disclaimer I gave to Red's Rhetoric? I think I should.
I reckon I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to predict that Rumpus will join with 9 minutes to go again, and then that'll be the end of it.
You reckon?
Right at the very end.
So let's just make something plain, though. If you, that's you, want to debate me, you can. If you don't want to debate me, you can bleat and moan about how I couldn't give a crap what you want. Okay? Nice to be wanted, though.
Kosho might be entering the show. There he is.
What?
I don't know.
Who's going to come to the show?
Kosho.
Kosho.
Well, he's got part of it in his name.
Kosho, no show.
Okay.
Protect your brain cells.
Did you join for this purpose? Because I was literally about to move on, Kosho.
I'm sorry, Mr. Nathan. How's it going?
You're very quiet. Can you speak up?
A long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah, right. Just before, hold on, whoever's laughing. Did you want to talk about this particular prophecy from Katz, Ruhif, and Ranty? If not, I'm going to move on with housekeeping. I just want to give you the opportunity so it doesn't get brought back up after.
Oh, you talk. I'm not sure the context, but I do know about Ranty. You're just talking about his observation in general. I missed the first. I just got here, so I'm not sure exactly what part of the observation you're talking about. But yeah, I think he did great work.
Oh, really?
Good job, Ranty.
It's a black
But
swan.
you don't know what we're talking about, but you think it's great.
Hey, Kosho.
Way to
General
start.
observation was great. Yeah.
Sure, it's a beautiful picture. It's not that they've taken it, but nevertheless. If the Earth's a sphere radius 3959, then every distance to horizon can be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. And the distance to horizon in this image is beyond that, Kosho. So it actually debunks the Earth as a sphere.
I missed that one.
You missed that. So did they.
Well, I think it was still a great picture, though.
We agree. It debunks the Earth as a sphere.
What was that rule you said? You said that the horizon can be no further than the geometric horizon?
Do you want me to repeat it? If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959, then every distance to the horizon, that's Earth curve, can be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Now, obviously, you're unfamiliar with this little prophecy, but Ranty has taken the maths of a sphere and suggested that it comports with his transition from flat Earth to globe Earth. However, it does not. It disproves the Earth as a sphere because the horizon is beyond the geometric limitations of a sphere-shaped Earth. Hope that was concise enough for you, Kosho.
Have you told him this?
I don't care whether he knows. I'm just sat here laughing at him. Do I want to personally contact him and say, this is a Black Swan, Ranty? Nah. I'd just take ownership of the picture and show an audience.
I bet he'll be disappointed anyhow.
I don't care what he's going to be doing. I'm disproving Earth as a sphere, Kosho. You're so concerned with one man's poor research skills and his own evidence, then I'm not. I'm much more concerned with letting the audience at large know that this is now our image and it debunks the sphere.
The rule that you said, though, the rule about where the horizon can be no further than, I've heard that somewhere before.
Yeah, it's the belief that Earth's a sphere. It's the claim that Earth's a sphere with a radius 3959. In fact, it's your belief. That's where you've heard it. It's your claim.
I heard it. I think Quantum Eraser used it in his Black Swan argument.
Are you deaf? It's your claim that the Earth's a sphere.
Well, I didn't know that was ruled.
Sorry, are you dumb? Sorry, do you think that Quantum Eraser's claiming Earth a sphere, radius 3959? Are you really that stupid? He's not. It's your claim. Third time. Maybe deny that it's your claim. Modus Toland presents Earth as a sphere and then debunks it. I'm using this image and your claim Earth a sphere, radius 3959 to debunk it based on the limitations it would have if it was a sphere. And this image shows that it's beyond those limitations, debunking Earth a sphere.
I mean, my memory could be horrible, but I remember verbatim, actually, Quantum Eraser's argument was what you stated verbatim.
Why are you being dishonest, Kosho?
And?
I've never heard it anywhere else is what I said. I've never seen that claim or, that limit. It was never mentioned anywhere else.
Oh, really? It's mentioned in every single Earth curve calculator.
So it says the horizon could be no further than this point in every Earth curve calculator?
It's claimed to be Earth curve, Kosho.
Yeah, it's mentioned also not only in the calculators, but in every single video prior to when the Black Swan was released. And it's all on YouTube and probably everywhere else you can look at it if it's predating the Black Swan.
Yeah, we had this debate over the Isle of Man, Kosho. Maybe you weren't around at the time, where it was claimed that the horizon was an obstruction. The horizon being Earth curve, and that would give it physical geometric limitations that were being claimed to block the Isle of Man. Or boats, or buildings in the distance. It's claimed to do all sorts of things with its physical geometric nature when marked with an X and labelled horizon in your Earth curve mathematics. Are you denying that that's your claim, Kosho? Because you seem to be trying to pin it on Quantum Eraser or Flat Earther, that the Earth's a sphere radius 3959 simply because it's debunked by this piece of evidence on screen now that shows the horizon beyond the limitations of Earth as a sphere. That's the fourth time I've put it to you, Kosho. Maybe we want to discuss who put Modus Toland together again for the second time, in spite of this image debunking Earth as a sphere.
I appreciate it, to be honest with you, because my memory is not what it used to be. But so I'm pulling up the curve calculator now. Oh, wait. Yeah, so the curve calculator, it talks about the without refraction approximation. This looks like the geometric horizon you're talking about. But then it also gives you the refracted horizon approximation.
I see.
Which is further than the first one.
I see. And what's the refracted value that it's ascribing in orthographic view that we never see in mathematics that doesn't account for perspective? What would be the value for refraction it ascribes, Kosho?
Let me see. I have to pull it up. I know it's usually like 1 point.
Standard form. Do you not know?
That was like an echo.
Do you not know, Muttery Mutterer?
Sometimes they use like 1.
Do you not know, Mr. Muttery? Do you want me to tell you, or are you just going to mutter your way through your own claim? It's your calculator, mate. Do you not know?
You could tell me.
Oh, well, dickhead. It's 7/6 of a radius value, and the radius value is based on a geometric Earth curve horizon.
Right, so 1.16 is about right then. Okay.
Sorry, 7/6 of a radius value is your terrestrial refraction. It's based on a radius that's derived from a geometric horizon.
Right, so it's not based on the geometric horizon, it's applied to the geometric horizon.
Sorry, where's the geometric horizon visible? Can you show it me in this image, please?
image. Oh, I gotta pull it up. Oh, I gotta go to the YouTube if I'm gonna pull it up. Hold on.
You understand my question? Where's the geometric horizon in this image?
I'm gonna assume that you're looking at Ranty's image.
The one that we started talking about. Maybe buy yourself a little time with a vague question about the subject that we're clearly discussing.
Well,
You stutter for me, you little bitch. That's right, this image, the ranty image that you're definitely discussing, that I made clear that we were inviting you to discuss, that you're a bit vague about, but know a little bit about and think it's great work, debunks a sphere, and I'm asking where the hell the geometric horizon that doesn't exist and only exists in your maths, where is it in this picture? Given that it doesn't exist beyond the maths, Kosho, where is it?
I remember calculating that it was somewhere around.
Don't tell me where it's being calculated. Tell me where it is.
The geometric horizon is something that you calculate.
So we can't see it. So we can't. Sorry, Kosho. Try and keep up. So we can't see it then.
Well, no, it's not that you can't see it.
Well, show it me.
Once you're seeing.
Well, then show it me, boy. Where is it?
Seeing it, it's no longer the geometric.
Sorry, show it us then. If we can see it, show it us. If we can't, say we can't see it, so I can say if we can't see it, it's not a horizon, and then explain what a horizon is.
The geometric horizon is the horizon before you add the optical effects of the atmosphere to it.
Sorry, can you show it me?
You're not expected to see that object.
Sorry, so we're not expected to see it. A horizon's a visual demarcation point. We're expected to see horizons. They're visual locations in terms of their apparent position between the land or sea and sky, Kosho. So if we're not expected to see it, it's not a horizon. Do you understand?
Well, I mean, I do understand that this image isn't even in regards to the horizon.
Really? It's claiming Earth a sphere with a horizon called Earth curve. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Ranty's converted based on its claim to be comporting with the Earth curve mathematics that asserts Earth a sphere with a horizon that doesn't exist, that we're not expected to see. That's Earth curve that you're telling us we're not expected to see, by the way, Kosho.
Yeah, I'm surprised that your argument hasn't evolved in the time I've known you, but
that seems like a bit of an ad hominem attack. Have you lost already? We haven't got this horizon that you're saying is existing in maths and used for calculations, but it's not a horizon, Kosho. It doesn't exist. You're yet to address that.
I have addressed that, Mr. Nathan. I said that the horizon, the geometric horizon, once optical effects of the atmosphere are applied to it, we don't call it the geometric horizon anymore. We call it the horizon. And it's somewhere in that image, in between you and the thing. But the tower is standing on top of a pier, which is already above the water. And in any case, we're not worried about the horizon. We're worried about the height of the tower and the height of the mountain as perceived.
Where the apparent horizon is calculated.
Sorry, Kosho. Go ahead. Go ahead, Kosho.
Would you just say that once more?
I stopped the person from interrupting you and said, "Go ahead."
I appreciate that. Thank you. No, I was just stating that we're worried about the height of the tower and the height of the mountain and how they appear in relationship to each other in this image, because the mountain is meant to be higher than the tower as per perspective.
Sorry, who says this? Who makes that claim?
The rules of perspective and the height of the mountain and the height of the tower say this.
So you're debunking perspective with this? Sorry, are you debunking something with this, or claiming something with this, or just attempting to refute perspective? I don't understand. Who's making this claim?
No.
What? Kosho, don't need to interrupt. I'm trying to establish whether or not this is a straw man fallacy, or whether or not someone's actually making this as a claim, a positive assertion for you to debunk, as opposed to a straw man. So don't tell me about rules of perspective. Tell me who's made this claim for you to need to debunk it.
Well, actually, I thought I was just explaining what the relevance of this picture was, because Ranty had used this to debunk the flat Earth for himself. But regardless,
sorry, to debunk. Sorry, you're saying flat Earth. Is it flat Earth making this claim? What is this ethereal flat Earth that made this claim? What are you talking about?
Well, the claim being made here is that the mountain is shorter than it's supposed to be if it were
Says
flat.
Who? Is it just
Well,
Ranty? Is he debunking his own claim? Is he making this claim? Who's making this claim for you to need to debunk?
I'm making the claim.
Don't need to interrupt, Kosho. It's just the fourth rendition of me trying to establish. If it's flat Earth, in quotes, that's making this claim, making it a clearly glaring straw man fallacy, right, Kosho? Do you know what a straw man fallacy is? Do you know what that means?
I do.
Right. So who's making this claim? Fifth time.
I'm making this claim.
You're debunking yourself then? You're debunking your claim of flat Earth. You're a flat Earther now making this as a flat Earth claim for you to debunk. When did you transition to flat Earth for you to make these assertions for Ranty to debunk? Do you need me to? Do you need me to tell you off as a completely incompetent flat Earther now, or is it actually a straw man? It's actually a straw man, isn't it, Kosho? You know that, I know that, and the audience now knows that. But you're not going to admit it. You're going to say it's flat Earth making the claim, and then when I say who, you're saying you. You're not a flat Earther. Why are you debunking you? Is Ranty debunking you? A glober?
I'm not debunking anything. I'm explaining.
Oh, well, then shut up. Why are you here? If you're not debunking anything, why is it being held up in false dichotomy like Ranty's disproved something about flat Earth then?
Well, I think he has shown that the flat Earth is couldn't be.
Oh, so it is going to be a generalization stereotyping fallacy that you're going to burn as a straw man? You're stereotyping... Oh, I haven't made this claim, Kosho. How dare you?
It's not a claim that you're...
No! Do not stereotype me, shithead! I have not made this claim, and when I asked you who has, you said flat Earth. We all know it's a straw man, shithead.
Yeah, Nathan, I'm not saying any claim that you said. I'm saying that the Earth is meant to be flat.
Yeah, someone trim that out. Meant to be flat, we all know it's flat. Obviously and observably. Now, when you make a claim that the Earth's a sphere, you have a geometric physical sphere edge horizon marked with an X, labelled horizon, and claim to be blocking boats and buildings. Now, according to this claim, as I understand it, Kosho, Ranty has made it plain that he has transitioned on the basis that this comports with the sphere Earth mathematics. And it doesn't. It debunks a sphere. You haven't addressed that at all.
I have addressed that almost completely. I told you that the claim that...
Refraction, you said. You said it's refracted. You said the optical effect doesn't account for refraction. I pointed out that your fraction includes an R that's based on a geometric horizon. Then you transitioned into we're not talking about the horizon when it's marked with an X, labelled horizon in your Earth curve mathematics, and claimed to be blocking boats and buildings. Now, nobody's got a sphere comparison calculator that you're debunking for the flat Earth. You're just using a stereotyping fallacy and then burning it as a straw man. So no one's making this claim that you're debunking then. You just said flat Earth says that. No, we don't. Straw man user.
I agree. Let's not do any straw man. I'll just say this simply then. It's not about a model, any specific model, anything like that. It's just either the claim that it's flat or the claim that it curves away from you.
So basically a false dichotomy straw man that you're going to burn in a second where flat says that what you're claiming is flat. Yeah, that's a straw man that you're going to rehash and try and get past me on the fifth occasion. No, let's not burn a straw man where you say flat Earth says this and globe Earth says that and not claim that you're not describing models and then literally describe two models that you're going to hold in false dichotomy, globe and flat. Yeah, so what, disclaim that you're not going to deal with those things that you're literally going to deal with in the next breath? You double-speaking fundy. How stupid do you think I am, Kosho? Shout out to LV23 for the super chat. Really appreciate your support. So this debunks the globe, Kosho. When are we going to address that? You need a geometric horizon.
I have addressed it.
You said refraction, and I debunked it because you've got an R value in it. 7/6 of the radius. You were quite hesitant and stuttery when we got to it, and then we quickly moved on. So no, you haven't debunked it. You definitely do need a physical geometric sphere edge horizon that's claimed to be blocking boats and buildings. And it's not. It's beyond the limitations of your maths that says it is. It's marked with an X called Earth curve and labelled as horizon. So, yeah, you definitely need an Earth curve edge horizon. You saying you don't because you're claiming that a straw man that flat Earth claims is going to get debunked here. No, it ain't. So we're not going to be debunking the straw man that's been held up in false dichotomy because none of us have claimed that. We've established that. And we don't give a crap what you claim. You're not a flat earther. So who cares what you claim? Flat Earth doesn't claim it either. We've covered that 3 or 4 times. Now let's get back to you thinking that you've debunked this by saying refraction, when I've debunked it by pointing out that your refraction includes R in maths that doesn't include perspective. You haven't addressed any of those things, Kosho, so do you want to attempt to address the R value in your refraction you used in rebuttal that you ignored when I challenged it and pointed out that you haven't got that R value because it's based on a geometric horizon? Maybe try and start with that. The horizon called Earth curve is debunked, and if you haven't got it, it doesn't exist beyond the maths. You can't measure it to get R to move the horizon to a refracted position, Kosho. If you need that again more concisely, I'm more than happy to rattle it off for what, the 5th time?
I really didn't, but I'll address it. I will, Nathan. I just hope afterward we move on to the actual relevance of this picture, which is not the horizon. But regardless, as I said before, the horizon, the geometric horizon, is then you apply the atmospheric phenomena to it. It changes the optics. You get the horizon. Okay, and then you said you have the R value.
Hold on, was that a request for approval? When you said okay, was that because you expect me to accept that? No, Kosho. Can I challenge it? When you said okay, no, it's not.
I'm sorry. Is what okay?
Stutter. I'm going to respond. You asked if it was okay and then quickly moved on without response. No, Kosho. You mentioned atmosphere. Well, why would you assume that air, atmo, takes the shape of a sphere for light to bend around at a radius value you're yet to get to? So, no, air isn't sphere-shaped, as in atmosphere, sphere-shaped air. No, Kosho, that's a begging the question fallacy. You're trying to prove Earth's sphere in the Earth curve calculations. Why would I accept that you automatically violate the second law of thermodynamics by having it not filling space, but taking a sphere shape? That's not what gas does. It doesn't take the shape of a sphere, it takes the shape of a container.
Yeah, Nathan. We can call it razzmatazz if you'd like to. The reason
you could suck my balls if you want to. They're real salty. Meanwhile, your explanation included the word air sphere or atmosphere, and that is an oxymoron. Maybe address the oxymoron you've used in rebuttal. Maybe you can tell me I can call it what I like. Well, you've called it sphere-shaped air. Atmosphere. It's got the word sphere in it. Air doesn't take the shape of spheres. Call it what you like. You've called it sphere-shaped air. Maybe address that. Second attempt.
As I've just told you, Nathan, I used the word that we both recognize. So because we both know what the word means, I used that word instead of...
I couldn't give a crap. Air doesn't take the shape of a sphere, whatever word you want to use it. If it's got the word sphere in it, I'm going to point out that air doesn't do that. So meanwhile, you haven't got an R value to refract the horizon with, and saying that light will just bend around sphere-shaped air isn't going to fly.
Nathan, does the fact that Ranty had this observation put fear in you? Because you're running from the...
Excuse me? You think I'm scared? I got my feet up on a comfy chair, I got a cup of coffee, and I'm laughing at you. And you're going to tell me I'm scared of Ranty's observation? It's a black swan, mate. You haven't got a geometric horizon, you're telling us it's not about the horizon, even though that's Earth curve. Yeah, it's not about Earth curve when we debunk it, we know. You're scared to address the fact you haven't got an R value, and this image doesn't have a geometric horizon. According to you can't see it. And if we can't see it, it's not a horizon, none of which has been addressed. You've refracted the horizon with an R that you can't get, because the horizon, Earth curve, is where you get it from. Now you're going to tell me I'm scared? Yeah, right, it looks like your time's done here.
I'm asking you if you're scared because you're running...
Nah, definitely not, Kosho. Meanwhile, you haven't got an R value for your refraction, yet to address that.
Nathan, you can use the radius of the Earth for the R value if you like.
Can I? No, I can't, because I require a geometric horizon. And you haven't got one.
It doesn't require a geometric horizon.
Where'd you get R?
You can use it using Aristophanes.
Not how do I use it when Aristophanes already got it? He already assumed it, didn't he, now?
I'm telling you that you don't need the horizon.
Sorry, we're back to we don't need the horizon when your Earth curve edge is the horizon. That's your claim of a sphere Earth, based on the horizon. Go and check out what they tell you Muppets to debate with us with. Your argument starts with the horizon, Muppet.
That's what I'm saying to you, Nathan. You don't need the horizon to find...
Yeah, you do. You do need the horizon. I don't need the horizon. You do.
Oh.
You need the horizon, Kosho, not me. You're right. I agree. I don't need the horizon. You do. You need it because it's...
You're just ignoring what you said.
Sorry, I've got two of them ganging up. Are you scared? Do you need a white knight to save you? I don't need a horizon, Kosho. You do. It's Earth curve. We've debunked it. Tell me again we don't want to talk about the horizon. You scared of the horizon? Your claim of Earth curve? You scared of that, Kosho? You seem to be. You seem to be obfuscating away from it, and a white knight's come to save you.
I honestly didn't want to bring up the fear thing. I'm not suggesting that you're.
I didn't want to bring up the thing I just brought up and tried to refute you with by telling you were scared when I'm talking about an R value you haven't got for your refraction. Yeah, I know you definitely did do that. Maybe deny it. Maybe tell you're not going to talk about models and then talk about two models in false dichotomy. Maybe tell me the very thing that you're going to do and then do it. Yeah? Because that's what you're doing, Kosho. You're on the ropes. Samurai's just come to save you. Your Earth curve edge is the horizon. We've debunked it. It's marked with an X, labelled horizon, claimed to be blocking boats and buildings. And you're saying it's not about it? Yeah, it is if you're a glober. We've debunked it, though. Damn right you won't want to talk about it no more, because this particular horizon on screen debunks Earth as a sphere. So now you don't think it's about the horizon. It is for me when I pull apart your claim that that's Earth curve. But now you don't want to talk about it, right? Yeah, enjoy.
Straw man.
This is a massacre.
We can talk about it if you'd like to, but
excellent. If the Earth was a sphere, radius 3959, then every distance to the horizon, that's Earth curve, can be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Now, Kosho seems to think that that's a claim made by QE when it's Earth curve in their mathematics. It's his claim. And it's debunked by this picture, because it's beyond the geometric limitations of an Earth curve edge horizon that used to block boats and buildings. And now it's not wanting to be talked about.
Oh, no.
Sorry I was talking over you, Nathan, but I'll tell you what, I'll give you $1,000 if you can.
I don't want your money. I don't want your money. I couldn't give a crap about your money. Ranty might be interested. Me, I know Earth's not a sphere and I can debunk it with any picture that's presented to me, including this one, that's supposed to have converted some money-grabbing fuckwit like Ranty to the globe. Me, I'm not interested in your dirty, dirty money, Kosho.
Well, why don't you have the testicular static?
Stutter for me, Fundy! That's right, Earth's not a sphere. The horizon's not Earth curve.
I should have just said ballless. But regardless, Nathan, why don't you just have the courage to actually confront what Ranty has confronted?
Okay, this is what Ranty's presented. It's on screen for my audience now. And it debunks Earth as a sphere based on the limitations a sphere would have. There you go, I've just done exactly that, Kosho. Maybe ignore the fact that you don't want to talk about horizons. You say you do, but that's your Earth curve claim that we've debunked, and we're using Ranty's claim to be conversion picture to do it. How beautiful is that, man? Have the courage to confront that.
We've talked about the horizons the entire time I've been here, Nathan. So what I'm saying is, why don't we confront the actual issue? The perspective of the mountain and the tower, and this is what Ranty's claiming.
Ranty's a globe-believing moron. I don't care what Ranty claims. He's a glober. You're going to debunk globers now.
No, but if we're going to talk about his observation, we might as well talk about the relevant parts of it.
Well, the horizons claim to be Earth curve. I don't care what one man thinks this observation proves, when there's an assertion with a calculator that's world-renowned for claiming that the horizon's an Earth curve obstruction, and this image disproves that. You want to talk about what Ranty thinks?
Or at least what his
wrong,
claim
but
is.
isn't the conclusion inevitably?
Oh, Eli, go ahead.
Can I ask a question? Thank you. Isn't the conclusion from the globe earthers in Ranty that the mountain that's missing is below the horizon that you don't say is pertinent to the conversation?
No, they don't state that at all. I mean, that would be the ultimate conclusion, not below the horizon, but below the curve of the Earth, because in front of where the horizon would be is a tower, a pier, plenty of other actual physical objects. So the mountain is much further away. It's behind the tower, behind the pier. If anything, I think it would be the geographic horizon, which is like the landscape, because that's really what's blocking the view is the landscape and the tower and all these other things. But you're not going to see the base of the tower for that reason, or base of the mountain for that reason.
Sorry, we are seeing the base of the mountain. It's not, sorry, Kosho. Maybe you haven't seen the image that wasn't cropped by conspiracy cats, but we can. On the left-hand side of the image, it's not being obscured by those things you just detailed. Did you not know that? I realised that
and
cats.
At the top of the mountain.
I realised cherry pickings happened and croppings happened, but did you not know that?
No, I did know that, but
Oh, really? Wow. Well, let me be the first to tell you that they cropped out a little section where we can see beyond those geographic horizons that you're describing. Not the Earth curve edge horizon we've debunked, but we can see beyond that on the left-hand side of the screen. It was just carefully cropped out. You didn't know that?
On that topic, Nathan, and on the geometric side, on the cropped out bit, I've put it on screen and I've just put in where the geometric ball should be. It's at 331 meters, that 40 kilometers across the lake. So there's the refracted hidden there from Metabunks. I've put that line in, but that's where your geometric should be. Look at the 331 meter mark. That's what it should be obstructing, or where you should start seeing from.
No, that makes no sense. Sorry.
That's exactly right.
No, hold on,
Exactly.
Adam. Sorry.
That's-
Just let Kosho respond. Go ahead, Kosho.
No, that's exactly right. If you notice that the mountain, you don't see the base of it, it's because that height of the mountain is what's missing. And it's that height of the mountain that is supposed to be there. It was supposed to make that mountain taller than the tower, but it's not taller than the tower.
Sorry, who
It's
says
shorter
this?
than
Sorry,
the
sorry,
tower.
stop. Who claims that exactly?
That's what the rules of perspective.
Sorry, so you're debunking perspective then? So this is a debunking of perspective, you
No,
think?
I'm utilizing.
Stutter for me there, Fundy. So it's not flat Earth you're debunking. You're debunking perspective then. You think you're debunking perspective, but yet...
Nathan.
Yeah, you
What I
seem
said
to
was,
think that... Yeah, you seem to think that ascribing meters values with angular sizes is relevant. I don't get it.
We don't have to use meters, Nathan.
It's on screen. This is presented by the guy presenting it. Ruhif sent this to Adam. There it is on screen. Don't have to, but you are.
Fantastic. So
exactly. So what? I'm right. Yeah, it's wrong. You shouldn't be using values that don't change with distance, especially when this scale on screen for my audience makes no sense. I made that clear to my audience earlier when I had Adam explain that one section accounted for 300 meters, 250 meters, yet there was people that were the same size right next to it. So obviously things are changing in terms of their size as you get further away from them, including the mountain. It's sloping away from you. So none of these values make any sense.
Exactly, Nathan. Now, if you let me speak, I'd actually give you the answer that you're not allowing me to give you, which is that the angular size, which is what I'm talking about, which is what perspective is in regards to, is 4 point. So I think the size of the mountain is 4.7. That's not right. Yeah, that's right. It's 4.7 times bigger than the tower. Whereas the distance of the mountain is about 4.1 times further than the tower.
That's fascinating.
So it's supposed to be bigger.
Supposed to be. Sorry, supposed to be. Sorry, who says it's supposed to be?
It's supposed to be. If you were...
Sorry, supposed to be is a flat earth straw man, or are you claiming it, or is Ranty claiming it? Who says it's supposed to be?
Everybody's claiming it.
Everybody? Who's everybody?
It's what happens when you divide one number by another number.
Sorry, I'm not talking about numbers, I'm talking about people, you dumb shit. Who's everybody stuttering, Simon?
Me, Ranty.
Who gives a shit what you Globers claim is supposed to be? We've got a flat earth calculator for this? No. It's a straw man show. So you and Ranty claim it's supposed to be. So you're debunking you and Ranty, are you?
What should it look like on a flat Earth then?
Sorry.
Does anyone know?
Same white knight again.
straw man.
So you're getting pummeled. Need that same
not a
white
straw
knight
man.
again. Go show.
It would look exactly
Go show. I'll try again without a white knight defending you. It seems there's audio chaos and you interrupted me now as the... Yeah, so my question was, who's claiming this? When you say it's supposed to be, I asked you and you said, everybody. Yeah? Who's that? Just you and Ranty? Two tossers? So what, are you debunking you and Ranty, or do you think at the end you're going to conclude that you debunked flat Earth? Because that seems where you're going. It's not that straw man, is it? You're debunking you and Ranty just for clarity then.
No, Nathan.
You just told me that's who claimed it, dumb shit. So who the hell are you debunking? The straw man of flat Earth?
You want me to speak, Nathan?
Yeah, I really do. Well, you tell me who's claiming this. Supposed to be claimed that at the end will turn from everybody to flat Earth. Yeah, you're never going to get there, and I'm going to hold you to the fire indefinitely. Well, you tell me who everybody is, and then tell me about how numbers work. You scammering little
Nathan,
scamp.
you're mocking me for not responding when you're talking over me responding to you.
Is that right? Well, my balls are in your mouth.
No. That's why you have to get homoerotic with it. Listen.
Who is everybody? Who's claiming this? You and Ranty, therefore you're debunking you and Ranty then.
Everybody who thinks that those distances are correct.
Who thinks this purports to be the claim Flat Earth would make? Let's get a straw poll, Kosho. Any Flat Earther on the panel right now, there's plenty of you, puts your mark next to this as the single claim of how things work as they move into the distance. Raise your hand and affirm that this is a Flat Earth claim they're debunking, as opposed to A, a straw man, or B, a claim that Kosho and Ranty are making. Who on the Flat Earth side puts their mark next to this?
This poll is a straw man.
That's not you, Kosho, dumbo.
I don't understand the
I
question.
haven't even yet stated what.
I'll repeat the question while Kosho Fundy mutes the question. Kosho seems to think that this is a claim we make, like it's some sort of model we're holding up.
No, it's them making a claim. It's them making a positive claim that this is proving a globe.
Agree on these distances.
Sorry, Kosho, you seem to be Fundy muting the responses. We're trying to establish.
I'm telling you what my claim is.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You needed to be a coward and Fundy mute me, like you just told me I was doing earlier, right? Yeah. Project that shit all over us while you interrupt every word of it. No one's going to back this as a Flat Earth claim, Kosho, for you to debunk as a straw man. And when I asked you who everybody is, you said everybody who agrees that these distances are what would be claimed on a Flat Earth? No, Kosho. There's more to it than that.
Everyone who thinks these distances are correct. That's it. No one's talking about a model at this point. We're saying.
So what's it prove then? If it's not about your straw man model, what's it proving or disproving then?
This distance. That's what I'm saying.
So disproving perspective then?
No, I'm showing you how to use perspective.
Showing me? I already know how to use perspective. Why would I need you to tell me how to use perspective? And what does this prove in terms of the nature of reality is my question.
Because if you knew, you wouldn't have asked the second question. The answer is the angular sides, as pointed out in the this image here. There's the angular size of the tower is going to be something like 0.496 degrees.
Who cares? So what? So what? Who cares?
Well,
what's this proving or disproving is my question. Kosho, stop talking. Do you understand the question?
You're afraid, man. You can't. Don't even...
Yeah, tell me I'm scared again. Right. This isn't proving or disproving anything if you just babble on about what it shows in terms of perspective. Unless you attribute a straw man claim that Flat Earthers say that. Or everybody, right?
Well, anybody who knows how to do simple math, yeah.
So you're debunking people who do simple math?
People who think that this isn't correct, because this math is correct and it's simple math.
Who's making that noise?
When you, Nathan, to ask you a question, are you asking if he's saying that this disproves a flat Earth model or does prove a globe Earth model?
Oh, I don't need to ask him that. I know it disproves the globe model. If every distance to horizon was in compliance with the globe, then we'd see a sphere edge horizon as asserted in the globe Earth mathematics. We've argued all day long about how it blocks the Isle of Man and things, boats, buildings. That's Earth curve edge horizons that we've debunked, and this image debunks it. So we know it doesn't prove a sphere. And when they do ascribe feet and inches values to it in an Earth curve mathematics calculator to say that the horizon's Earth curve, and we point it out to a globe believer, they'll tell us all about how it's not horizons and ask me if I'm scared.
It's a hell of a laugh, Nathan. Nathan,
so the only position that's
objects
left is
in
to
the
say
English.
that this disproves that the Earth is flat. Based on what, though? That's the question, I think.
Yeah,
to you,
that's me asking him who claims it. Who holds this up and says this proves Earth's a flat plane because only perspective applies to the picture, and therefore they can come along and say, because this person says this proves a flat plane because only perspective is applicable, when I take apart only perspective, it doesn't quite work correctly. Therefore, Earth's not flat because nobody's claimed that this picture proves it was, and I've pulled it apart as a straw man. Because everybody, right? Everybody? Nobody. Just you and Ranty and Ruhif are holding it up as a straw man.
5-year-old can look at these two numbers and see which one is bigger.
You seem to be rattling off
This
the ad
number is
homs at a
bigger.
fair old rate there.
Yeah.
What do you mean 5-year-olds? What is it with the ad homs? Yeah, why are you rattling off the ad homs? The sign of a sure loser. Why do you need to compare us to 5-year-olds now, you pathetic idiot?
He's
So
stepping
you can't
all over
answer
you
what the
really
actual
bad,
claim
Nathan.
is.
His
then.
I know
mic
he
much
is.
louder than yours.
Yeah, he's lost badly. He can't cope with
Then
his
why
rival
didn't you mute
speakers.
Discord
And
during?
every time I start talking, he starts fundy muting me. And he's asking me if I'm scared and stuff. It's great. Yeah, scared of the horizon because we've debunked it.
Sounds like
Kosho,
You're afraid of anything I have to say to
Hang
you.
on.
Like you talk over everything I say. You ask me a question, then talk over my response.
Oh, really? When I asked you about why I would get a radius value in your refraction and you told me all about atmosphere, okay. And then, after just seeking approval that you didn't receive, you babbling on, I interrupted you then. Perfectly reasonable, given that you sought an affirmation that you didn't get when you assumed atmosphere. Maybe I don't listen to a word you say, you fundy coward that has every word listened to, responded to, taken apart for an audience. Yeah, I'm not really listening to you. I don't also stop other people from interrupting before you've got to the end of your point. I don't do that either. It's actually me constantly interrupting you while you shy away from the Earth curve edge horizon marked with an X that's debunked in this picture. Maybe I'm scared.
Nathan, it sounds like Kosho.
I'm trying to make a
take a
claim
breath
here
for a
about what that
Oh my
image
gosh.
is showing. You don't want to hear what the claim is. So
Your claim,
Kosho, sounds
your and Ranty's claim. No, I covered that too, didn't I? Now I covered that it's a straw man, unless you can find somebody that's holding this up as a claim proof of flat Earth with perspective only. It's just a straw man that you are claiming and Ranty is claiming. So when you pull apart your straw man by pointing out how the claim's going to be made for a flat Earth, you think I should let you make that claim on our behalf and then burn it as a straw man? I think I covered that too, Kosho. Yeah, I definitely did, about 5 times. Tell me I'm scared.
Nathan, in no way is it a straw man whenever somebody is claiming that the Earth is flat.
Oh, so we claim the Earth is flat with this picture now, do we? Who claimed that, Kosho? Oh, yeah, nobody claimed that. You and Ranty did. So it's definitely a straw man then. Earth's flat because of this picture. Nobody claimed that. It's a straw man fallacy. I've pointed that out 6 times.
Okay.
Yeah, uh-huh.
It's not
Yeah, I
a
have.
straw man.
Could
Unless you
I
can show a
ask
flat Earth that
Kosho
isn't
a
flat,
question
it's not a
that
straw
is,
man.
global proof?
Sorry, he's got white knights coming to his aid. Do you want the white knight to take over for you, Kosho? Because you're obviously getting pummeled. People are coming to your aid.
I mean, if you're not going to allow me to speak, might as well allow them.
Yeah, I didn't hear you talk about atmosphere when defending R. I didn't just cover the fact that I've listened to every word and stop people interrupting you while you're making your claims. No, that's not going to fly. No one's going to believe you. They will know that you're projecting that crap all over me when you're interrupting me and obfuscating away from me and desperately trying to make this straw man claim so you can burn it. Yeah. I'm not letting you do that because no flat earther's making that claim. No one's saying only perspective is applied and therefore this is proving a flat earth. So you can pull apart the claim that this proves a flat earth because only perspective's applicable says flat earthers. They don't, Kosho. It's your straw man that you desperately need to get in here, don't you? Yeah, I'm not going to let that happen though, mate. It doesn't make me scared. It makes me a winner.
Can I ask him a question, Nathan?
You can.
Thank you. Kosho, on your global proof photograph here, over on the left side here, how come we're seeing all the way to the base of the mountains on the left side here? And that's about 30 miles away across a flat plain on your global proof. Could you explain that?
Well, in order to explain that, you have to take the time to note what height that part of the mountain is, note the objects in front of it and the height of those, and compare their distances from one another. The same way that was done with that one peak and the tower.
If you
That's why that tower is compelling, because the numbers were done.
He's ignoring you. You've asked him,
over the curve?
Brian, what you've done is you've asked him to explain this in the context of the Black Swan, and he said, no, my straw man.
Yeah, because what he should be doing, Nathan, is dropping all these mountains over the curve of the globe Earth, and then doing angular size change calculations. But it seems to me that he's doing all these angular size change calculations on a flat plane, and then trying to just claim that it's a globe Earth proof. I don't get that.
Yeah, it's definitely not. I'm going to read out a few super chats. So shout out to LV23, who says victory. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Also, Retro Bill, who says, ouch. Poor dishonest Kosho receives yet another boo-boo on his tin-chin. Thank you very much, Retro Bill. Also, another shout-out. Who's that?
I know 10th wanted to jump in here. But
Yeah, I just wanted to
did want
say.
to say. Yeah, go ahead. 10th.
Okay, just real simple. Kosho, you want the
What did I
radio,
tell you?
but
Hold
you
on a
don't
second,
want
guys.
to talk about the limitations.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can now, but you're being very
No.
disruptive.
Yeah, sorry, what's going on? Just trying to shout out a few super chats. It's
What
Kosho
just
descended
happened?
Discord into audio chaos while I was doing the super chats.
No. Radio check.
Yeah, hey, how's it going?
What is going on with the audio? Hello?
It's not me. It's not me.
I don't know. Do we need to do this right now?
Nathan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I asked Kosho a question.
I heard you.
First, he said he was a dumpty dipshit moron. That's why he's here. So the claim is, 5 days later, you finally figure out they did some trig.
No, we understand the claim. The claim is that the mountain is meant to be taller than
Really?
the mountain's meant to be taller than the tower as
Who
far
says
as
that?
the angular
Really?
size.
Who says that? Who says that? Who says
No.
that?
Hold on a second.
Well, I just want to establish
Hold on a
who's.
second.
Sorry, QE. I tried to establish that earlier. He said everybody. I'd like to know who makes that claim, Kosho.
Yeah, I know, but you wouldn't let me finish before, Nathan. What I'm saying to you is everybody who thinks those distances are correct and can divide one number by the other number and can figure out what the angular size of both of those objects would be from that distance
Really?
and see that those numbers next to each other.
Really? The actual observed angle? Or did you just make it up from distance?
No, the actual observed
Really?
the angle that's from the distance and from the height.
The angle from the distance. No, I'm looking for the observed angle measurement from a theodolite or a sextant. Did you do that?
No, but that's exactly what you would find out. You wouldn't. You don't need to make an angular measurement. You
So
can see
why
it's
didn't
taller.
they do that?
Because you can see that it's taller.
Oh,
That's
because I can see that it's taller. We need
Yeah, that's not a
observed.
question.
We need the observed angles, numpty dipshit. You just don't take it off of paper. Do you understand Treg?
Yeah,
You don't.
you
You're a
understand
numpty
perspective, QE?
dipshit. You don't take the graph paper trig and then superimpose that on reality. You're in a category error ×2, you numpty dipshit.
QE. The only reason why you would need
You
to
don't
measure
call
that.
me QE, you friggin'
don't know.
moron.
The only reason why you would need to actually measure those to see
Really?
which one's bigger or smaller optically.
Who's
if you didn't
you?
know.
Sorry,
But you can tell by looking at the picture that the tower is taller.
Kosho. You're saying
Why are you
sorry,
unmuted?
stop. Kosho, you're saying the only reason you would need to measure it. No, we established, Kosho, that QE's not making this as a claim, and flat earthers aren't making the claim, and everybody's not making the claim based on some crazy stipulation that you ascribe to everybody to then juxtapose your assertion that we should be measuring this as our flat earth claim that we're not making. You seem really attached to this straw man.
And I'm glad that you needed to interrupt to say that. But regardless, the actual observation, the picture, it shows you clear as day.
You don't do
that
trig on a
tower-
picture, you numpty
The tower is
dipshit.
taller than the mountain.
You're a numpty
Tower is taller.
dipshit. We need the angles, the actual observed angles. So what are you going to do?
What you're going to do is you're going to look at the image and see which one is
No, you're
clearly
not.
taller.
No, you're not. You're going to go out there and give me the observed angle from a sextant or a theodolite.
Why don't you explain to me why that would be needed?
Why don't you
QE?
explain? If I
Sorry,
explain it
why
to
that would
you,
be
you
needed.
wouldn't
Sorry,
understand
Kosho, can you
anyway.
stop?
Go
QE and
explain it.
Kosho, please,
Explain it
please.
how you
Hello,
thought it would be
hello,
needed.
Kosho, QE, both stop. See, what's happening here, Kosho, is for your straw man that you're trying to ascribe to us, QE's demanding that you go out and you get the angles for your little straw man that you're trying to burn to disprove a flat earth, based on a claim of perspective only in this picture that nobody on the flat earth has said. So, you, to make this claim that we're not making, need to go out and ascribe the actual angles to it if that's what you're claiming. Because we're not claiming it, and we're not going to be defending it, and we're definitely not going to be going out and getting the angles. That's where I stopped you and said, why are you telling him all he needs to do is go out and get angles when we've ascribed who's making the claim already? You've told us it's you and Ranty, according to you, not us. So we're not going to be getting anything, Kosho. You need to go out and get this, though, don't you, lads? Cats, if you're the head of this little ship, you need to go out and get the actual angles, if that's what you are claiming. What's that you say? Flat Earth? No, we don't. No, we're establishing here quite firmly for an audience live that this is a little straw man fallacy, that we're not claiming it and you burning it after telling us that Flat Earthers say perspective only. No, we don't. No, and you're not going to find one that does, and when we ask you who's claiming that, we find out it's Ranty? Some complete numpty? Like we care when there's Earth curve calculators for this stuff? Or what's that, you don't care about the horizon? That's Earth curve anymore. Oh, how times have changed, Kosho. But we're not going to be getting any angles for your straw man that you're trying to burn. You can go and get them, mate.
Yeah. Since you can see the sizes of them in comparison to each other in the image, I'd like for either of you to explain why you would need to measure the size, the regular size of it.
Oh, I'll answer him. Let me answer him. Let me answer him. Let me answer him.
And then
Can I just answer him?
Oh my God.
Can I answer him? Why would you need to get the actual angles as opposed to what's just comparable on screen? Oh, at the beginning of the show, I showed that what was represented by several hundred meters of mountain was the same size as a couple of people right next to it. Did you not listen, Kosho? Maybe if you weren't talking through me and cowardly fundy muting and censoring the rebuttal that destroys the globe, you'd have heard me say that. Or maybe it's amnesia. Because I did say that to you, Kosho. That's why. Shit shrinks as it gets further away. So comparatively from the picture, you're not going to get that information unless you actually measure the angles to the things that you're claiming with feet and inches that don't change with distance.
And so what you said is there's a person in front of a mountain, and you're telling me that you would need to actually measure.
No, I'm not telling you.
Like,
no,
see that the
not my claim.
No,
no, I'm not telling you anything. It's not my claim. I'm not telling you that. You need to be telling us what angles you have for your flat Earth straw man that you're trying to burn. You need to get that, not me. I'm not telling you anything. It's not my claim in that regard. My claim, I'll repeat to you now because you still haven't actually addressed it. If the Earth was a sphere with a radius of 3959, then every distance to the horizon, that's Earth curve, used to block boats and buildings and stuff, apparently is not important to you now, would be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, and this image is beyond that geometric limitation claimed to prove Earth's a sphere by how much it'll block stuff with its physical horizon. Yeah? So this image debunks Earth a sphere, and there's definitely Earth curve calculators. That's a positive claim we can say is definitely yours, as opposed to this horse crap that you're not going to provide some flat Earthers calculator that makes this claim. No, that's never going to come. But you can toddle away and go and get your angles if you like for your shitty straw man. Meanwhile, there's definitely calculators that do claim Earth's a sphere with a horizon that's Earth curve that we've debunked and can debunk with this very image. How about you address that?
Nathan, I've addressed this 11 times, and before I do it again, I don't think there's any point in having this conversation with you when you're not even letting me speak about the actual topic.
Shut up.
Oh, really? Well, I covered it when you told me it was refracted, and then I told you to take me to the calculator, the one that's a positive claim we definitely do have, as opposed to the straw man you're using, and it was based on an R value that you can't get because it's based on a geometric horizon. Apparently, at that point, you told me horizons weren't what you wanted to argue. You exclusively only wanted to argue about a straw man claim we don't make that you needed to burn. So that's where we got when you did discuss this, and I did get the answer from you, Kosho. I also listened so much so that I can now repeat pretty much verbatim what you responded to me with. And then you told me all about how scared I was. Do you not remember the conversation? I do. Do you remember, guys, on the panel about how he told me I was scared when we got to that stage last time, and then started fundy muting me like he's doing now, like a coward?
I'm just trying to respond to you, Nathan.
I remember it.
Yeah, do you remember, Nathan, what my response was? Do you remember what my response was, Nathan, when you asked me if you needed the horizon to get the radius? And I told you no. I told you there's plenty of methods that you can get the radius without the horizon. So your recounting of that was bullshit.
All right.
And
Did you not mention Aristophanes?
observation.
Sorry, you did actually cover that, and I did respond to that
You
also.
need to measure the
Sorry, you're
angular size
gonna
of
you're gonna
objects.
cowardly fundy mute this, are you? So you didn't mention an assumption of R sticks and shadows. You didn't detail that.
I didn't say anything about any assumptions.
He assumed
What I
R.
said was
Sorry,
the
he
mountain
assumed.
is
Sorry.
supposed to be
Excuse
bigger
me.
than
Excuse
the
me.
tower, and the
Excuse me.
tower is bigger than the mountain.
Excuse me.
He's
Coward.
chanting. He's chanting.
Chanting through me, yeah. Definitely assumed R. I pointed that out last time. It seems that, like last time when you fundy muted and then started asking about how scared I was, you ignored my response. That he definitely assumed a radius value and then set about measuring circumferences.
Nathan, the tower is bigger than the mountain.
Sorry, that's ignoring me.
Wow.
Sorry, wow, coward.
Is
he scared? How scared is he? How scared is he? How scared is he, ladies and gentlemen? How scared's Kosho? Are you scared of this, Kosho? You scared of this?
Brought up that I haven't responded to.
Specifically, the assumption of the radius value when responding to me in this regard, when begging the question of refraction, and me pointing out that without a geometric horizon you can't get R, you then went to an example that assumed R. I pointed that out, and you asked me how scared I was. That's what you haven't responded
That
to.
example doesn't assume R. It measures it.
Oh, yeah,
That's exactly what that was. It's a
Where the
measurement.
hell would
You count R
Eratosthenes
by
put
doing
it
that
then?
measurement.
Where would the horizon be based on what Eratosthenes said? That's the case.
Horizon wasn't part of his observation, man.
He's back to Eratosthenes.
Oh my god!
Did you bring up Eratosthenes
Yes, he
here,
did.
Kosho?
Yes.
Well, Nathan wants to talk about how you find the radius. So
You little
it's
numpty
only
dipshit.
it's only the
You
necessary.
numpty dipshit. Did you watch your last numpty clip? Why are you here?
I was here to listen, and then he asked me about this observation that he doesn't want to talk about. But as I
Probably
said,
already
the
talked
angular
about it.
size of the
Now let's go back to
observation is
angular
such that
size.
it's meant to be smaller.
Really?
The
So
tower's meant
after
to be
5 days,
smaller than the mountain.
like I said, after 5 days, like I said, after you figured out the trig, it's like 5th grade trig, you come waddle on in here and talking about angular size. Really?
You
So
don't
what's
even
the
need to do
observed
trigonometry to
actual-
realize
Don't
it's
overtalk me,
supposed to
you
be bigger.
fucking retard. What is the actual observed angle, Kosho, to Blackpool Tower? Then you're going to have a problem because you have to get the actual observed angle to the mountains behind them for comparison. You're so dizzy and retarded. You're just parroting that numpty asshole roofie, right?
Yeah, no, QE.
Yeah,
As I told you,
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. Very telling.
Yeah, no. Really? Go on. Yeah, no.
if you mute me again, I'm not going to respond again.
Mute you.
I'm trying to answer your question, man. Yeah, what you said about the horizon, and I'm sorry, what you said about the angular size and measuring it, you can do that with a picture. Okay?
No, you
I can do that
cannot.
with the field of view.
No, you cannot. How
and
can you
and
get
the
the
actual
angle off
image
the
itself.
picture? Fuck off. You're a retard. Get out of here.
So the
Go back
people in
to
the
Gem Panda's retard server.
the people in the foreground have got the same number of pixels as a mountain that's several hundred feet. I've covered that 3 times, Kosho.
He's a
I think he's gone.
I hope
No,
he's
I
gone.
was muted.
Just go back to
I
the
was
retard
muted, so I
academy.
couldn't respond is what happened.
What? How can you respond to that?
Well, he asked me a question about the guy.
I asked you the question. Yeah, no.
No, it was Nathan just asked me a question about a guy in the foreground.
Oh, bro.
Just
Yeah, you're
asked
trying to get out of it, aren't you?
No, you muted me when I tried
You
answering your
muted
question.
me. You because you're
Yeah,
a bumbling
why you
idiot.
complain about me not answering your question when I tried answering it? You
Well,
muted
because
me.
you're a bumbling idiot. When you tried to answer what?
It's a simple
Oh,
answer.
really? Go on.
Yes. As I told you, you can actually measure the angular size of an object
What's it?
with
What's
just
the
the
picture?
image.
I know
Just-
you already told me, and I
Yeah.
said you were fucking out of your mind.
If you have the field of view,
If you had the
and you have
field
the
of
image,
view, really, citation,
and you
please.
have the image.
Citation, please.
You have the field of view and you have the
Citation.
image. You can measure the angular size of the object.
No, you can't. You're a fucking idiot category
Can you stop
error.
screaming and let him answer?
I'll tell you what,
Stop
Ed.
for a citation. Everyone calm down.
Here's
Stop.
Ed.
Right now,
Everyone
Kiwi.
stop.
Based on
Everyone. Oh God, how many times do I have to
Sorry.
say stop? He's asking for a citation. Yet another white knight comes to his rescue. So, Kosho, do you have a citation for this to say that you can get the angular size from the picture alone? Have you got a citation for that or not?
I mean, if you know anything about angular size...
Don't ask me what I know, dickhead. Deaf, stupid, idiot. Do you have a citation? Not a sidetrack, not some chaff. Yeah, not chaff and redirect. Citation, yes or no?
Yeah. Do you need a citation right now in the middle of this conversation? Do you need me to find you one instead of giving you the answers that you're asking for?
You're making the claim.
The topic
You don't want to hear
talking
your
about?
bullshit. You ain't giving no answer.
Sorry, what he's now doing is he's questioning the validity of a request for a citation during a debate. Is it reasonable that I go and get a citation to back my claim that I've just made? Should I be able to back my baseless assertion on the spot? Why should I back my baseless assertion? You should just accept it right here, right now, without citation. Right? Do you think that sort of upward inflection's going to work? Yeah, we want a citation, that's why we asked.
All right. And I just want to make sure, so you disagree with that?
I don't care. I'm qualifying what you've been asked for and where the obfuscation has started, the chaff and redirect. Yeah, you've just been asked to back what you've claimed. That's it.
If you don't disagree, what's the point?
Oh, white knight time. You've been asked for a
Not
citation.
anymore.
You've said you can calculate the angular size based on a photo alone. Citation, please. Now we've got this.
Right.
Coward.
Fine.
Got a white knight in the background fundy muting me right now. Cowards. All you've been asked is to back what you've claimed. He's claimed it, so back it. It's Kosho. Simple. Go.
Yeah, I mean, I have I found a thing right here about measuring the angular size of an object in an image. If you'd like for me to post it for you.
Go ahead,
You can read
yes,
it in
please.
your spare time. There you go.
Then
sir.
we're gonna need.
Oh, wow, look, they posted somebody posted the exact same thing I posted. So it looks like
that's wonderful.
looks like people can do a little bit better research than
a
you guys
little bit
did.
better research. You bumbling, boneheaded baltard. We need the actual angle. You got me, sunshine. So go call Roofy and numpty dipshit. Who we got over there?
You're so afraid that you mute me every time I make a point that you have the
Mr.
run.
Invisible Horizons. Do you know that this is a black swan also?
Sorry, what's your citation? And is your citation the thing that you're trying to debunk in terms of this claim? Or is this a citation that is used in reference to a flat earth model? What's the point of it? I want to know.
Well, what you asked for, Nathan, was a citation confirming that you can actually find the angular size of an object in an image by you looking at the size of the object in the image and knowing the field of view. It's kind of common sense, but you asked for a citation for that.
Is it common sense? Okay, so let's do this. Let's have one of you baltards, because you have the angle, right? I want somebody to go out and get the observed actual angle and let's compare. How about that to confirm it?
All you have to do to confirm it is
No. Stop. All you.
It's like you don't want to hear.
Stop.
Right.
Hello. All you have to do. He's not making this claim though, is he, Kosho? You and Ranty are. We established that. You little ham-handed everyone, and then someone who can add one and one together. Bullshit didn't fly. So it's not him that's going to be going out and doing it. It's you. So whatever you say, we'll just say no. Cats, Ruhif, Ranty, you. Whoever's making the claim. Now, if you're ascribing this angular relationship extrapolation from photography, QE's point that what you're going to get the actual angles from that. No, you need to go out and get them from reality. Have you done it? You, not us, mate. You're never going to push this onto us as our claim ever.
Yeah. So again, all I'm trying to explain to you guys is that the angular size of the objects can be calculated and then compared just by looking at the image.
Yeah, you said
You
that.
can see which one is bigger in the image. It's not that hard.
And what's that prove? And who's using that to prove something? Is someone using that to prove a flat Earth?
Nathan was using it to disprove a flat Earth to himself.
Who's using it to disprove flat Earth? One man.
One man, exactly.
So we give a crap about this one man trying to disprove flat Earth to himself. when there's globe Earth calculators that are used the world over to assert that the horizon's a sphere edge getting in the way of things. We gave a crap about Ranty and what he's claiming. He's merely one man. Why are you so concerned about this one man on your side and what he thinks?
I'm in no way concerned. I'm just noticing.
Well, you seem to be, because it's not us making this claim that you're trying to debunk so desperately. It's Ranty, right? So it's not us, but you're here telling us all about it. You seem to have a thing for Ranty and what he's concerned about or disproving to himself. Not that he is.
I came over here, Nathan, and you were already talking about it. So
Yeah, I said, if the Earth's a sphere radius 3959, then every distance to horizon, that's Earth curve, can be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. And this image, regardless of what anybody else is claiming about it, disproves Earth as a sphere. So that's what I'm saying about it. That's my claim. As you're here talking to me, rather than some crazy idiot, why don't you address what I say about it? That's my claim. What's that you say? I've got to ascribe angular size reduction at distance only to this photo so you can burn it as a straw man? Oh, that's not going to happen. I'm disproving Earth a sphere with this image, Kosho. That's my claim.
Well, if you use the numbers you just gave for the size of the Earth, and you asking if it's going to curve away, you would then look at this image and see the mountains are lower in the background at the exact rate that they would be if the Earth were curving away at the size that we see.
Yeah, right.
Which is what's happening. And you
Oh,
guys are
right.
right.
Yeah, hold on, Kosho. And in those assertions, the mathematics doesn't include perspective.
Mathematics does include perspective. Absolutely.
Really? Do you want to show me in Earth curve calculators where it ascribes an angular size reduction at distance when your calculators calculate the target in a feet and inches value that doesn't change with distance? Can you explain that to me? Because that doesn't happen. You're wrong.
Yeah, we don't use the Earth curve calculator to find out what the angular size is supposed to be. We use math.
Sorry, we don't use the Earth curve calculator to find out what the angular size is, but yet we're ascribing Earth curve to things in photos with angular size. So that's wrong then.
We use an Earth curve calculator to determine how much the Earth is supposed to be curving at that point if it were curved.
Yeah, and in that
Okay?
calculation,
You can
and
use that,
in
and you can.
and in that calculation, it uses values that do not change with distance. They stay the same. And as you clearly understand, things get smaller into the distance. So, I'll ask for a third time, why isn't the globe calculations accounting for the fact that things do get smaller in angular size by keeping those values consistently the same at any distance with meters or feet?
Because, Nathan, that calculator doesn't address the size of objects.
Why not? It's compared to photographs that has angular size reduction at distance. Why doesn't it, was my question.
Because it doesn't say this is the everything calculator.
It says it's the Earth curve calculator. That's pretty much everything in your world. It's saying it's the Earth and how it presents itself. And yet it doesn't include things getting smaller. Well, then it's wrong.
Nathan, it's not difficult to apply the sizes that it's supposed to be to a flat Earth and to the curved Earth using that calculator. The size that it's supposed to be.
It doesn't.
Is the,
sorry.
The ratio.
You're not listening. It doesn't. You're just ignoring me, coward. I've just pointed out 4 times now. You've just told me it's not difficult to apply it. It does not apply something that's very easy to apply. And it doesn't, Kosho. Therefore, it's wrong because it's compared to things like the thing on screen, pictures that are inclusive of angular size relationships. But the calculator doesn't include that. Therefore, it's wrong because it's compared to photographs that do have that.
Nathan, the Earth curve calculator is going to tell you where the horizon is going to be. It's going to tell you what's going to be behind the horizon.
That's the geometric physical sphere edge horizon we've debunked. Nah, because this image disproves that, Kosho.
Target hidden height. Have you heard this term before, Kosho?
Yeah, exactly. The hidden height. Hidden behind the horizon.
Target hidden height. So wouldn't you have to know the angular size? Don't you ever fucking talk me. If it's target hidden height, wouldn't you have to know the target hidden height?
You'd have to know the
It's
height. Yes, the
the
actual height,
angular.
not the angular height,
I'll
QE.
tell you what, overtalk me again, motherfucker.
Yeah, he
Answer the
knows he's
question.
pummeled. It's the death and it's the conclusion. So he's got to rumpus it because it's going to be concise if he doesn't.
Show us where the target hidden height is converted using angular size change in the Earth curve calculators.
It isn't.
Well, QE, if you're going to let me answer this question.
It isn't. It isn't converted. They've hijacked angular size and called it Earth curve. That's the answer.
I want to be muted right when I start answering.
Suck my balls. We've killed Earth curve. It's a feet in inches value only in the maths. I've said it 5 times. He's ignored it and now he's claiming being muted. QE's asked the question and I'm going to damn well answer it. Earth curve is a hijacking of perspective. It's not included. It's not converted. They keep the size the same at all distances. Earth curve is merely perspective, turning your view side on so you can exclude it. When looking at photographs that do include it, the Earth curve maths doesn't. There's your answer, Kosho. You give a crap what your answer was. We've killed Earth curve.
I think you did that because you realized that QE asked a dumb question.
A dumb
Which is why doesn't it apply the angular size change when it...
Yeah, why does an Earth curve calculator that claims to be comporting to how pictures are calculated not include the fact that pictures have things getting smaller into the distance? In your calculator, the height of the tower doesn't change with any distance. The height of the mountains doesn't change with any distance. They're compared based on their full size, full feet in inches or meters value. And you will ask why a certain amount of feet in inches is blocked by the tower. Well, that's because it's smaller in the distance, but your calculator doesn't include that, Kosho. That's where Earth curve dies. It doesn't include perspective. It calls the effect Earth curve.
As I tried answering a second ago,
It wasn't a question. I wasn't asking you something. I was making a statement of fact. Earth curve's dead. Couldn't give a crap what Kosho's got to say about it. Earth curve doesn't include perspective. The target values, in this case tower and mountains, remain the same at all distances. It wouldn't matter if the mountain was 20 million miles away. They'd still ask you why a certain feet in inches value is blocked by the tower, even though the actual angular size will get smaller and smaller as it gets further away. That effect is ignored in Earth curve maths, so they're going to call the effect Earth curve. Wasn't a question, it's a statement of fact. The Earth curve maths isn't representative of the world we live in. Look at it. It shows you the side of your own head, and it only does that to remove perspective and keep the feet in inches values the same. These are all statements of facts, not questions for you, dickhead.
Yeah.
Kosho, to do what you're talking about, you have to first deploy all the global mathematics for drop and the available then visible after the hidden, and then you must deploy to the available visible, then you must deploy angular size change.
Brian, I've been doing that while we've all been chatting. And I know it's kind of fruitless, but actually the results are hilarious. I did it using what they're saying, Blackpool Tower, and I first did it against Scaffold Pike on the double dip correct ball model, and I've also compared that to just using angular size change at distance. If you take Scaffold Pike, then actually the variance on the ball model, it should be 85% difference between the two, and on just angular size change, 25%. There is round about that. That's about the difference on Scaffold Pike. Now, I then realised that actually the mountain right next to Blackpool Tower is called Dow Crag, and when you apply this, the variance with just angular size change, the angles come out at 0.46117 and 0.468, which is literally a 1% difference just using angular size change, which is pretty close to the image. However, when you apply the fact that there's a geometric drop with Dow Crag of 683 feet, then actually that one, it really does shrink because it's on a ball, and then shrink because it's in the distance. So it actually only has an angular size of 0.04, which when you compare the two comparative sizes, the Dow Crag and the Blackpool Tower on their Strawman ball model, then actually Blackpool Tower should be 768% bigger.
Marvellous. Right, I'm going to read out a few super chats then and invite anybody watching this on a premiering stream to stay tuned. So, Retro Bill, this is where the chaos kicked off last time. I was about to read out this pathetic tosser's deplorable demise deserves yet another fiver. Thank you very much for the super chat. Really appreciate the support, Retro Bill. And another smashed super chat from Retro Bill. Kosho is the black swan which disproves the phrase, quote, nobody can be this thick. Perfect. With that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you first and foremost to both Discord and G Plus panel for making today's extended live show possible. As I say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be a limited short after show to follow. Massive thanks again to all of you who smashed the super chat, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley. Stay tuned if you're watching on a premiering stream, and I'll see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!
Shout out to Godzilla37 who says, I really wish Flat Earth did have an edge. I'd push Kosho right off it. Thank you very much indeed for smashing the super chat there, Godzilla.
Coupled him a fucking
Man,
link, right?
Adam.
Hold on
He
a
came
second.
into champion.
But can you hear me?
No, they couldn't till I opened all the lines back up.
All right, listen up. Kosho, one of his buddies, sent him a link. Kosho didn't read it. Can you tell us the purpose of the link? Can you read the purpose out from the link? Please, it's right at the top. Please.
I'll go ahead and read the citation, which is the part in here that's relevant to
You
what
didn't
we
give a
talked about.
citation.
I
You
did.
gave a link. You don't know the
now.
difference between a link and a citation.
No,
You don't know
I
the
have a
difference
citation.
between a link and a citation. I'll go ahead and read it. So check this out. Measuring sizes from images. A wrangle with angles and image scale. Purpose. To learn how to make measurements of angular size on images from a micro observatory telescopes. Can I ask you a question there, Kosho numpty dipshit? Can you tell us the micro telescope that was used to take this photo?
Yeah, I was muted that whole time.
You were muted the whole
I
time.
actually read the
No,
citation now.
You didn't give a citation. You gave a link. You dumbass.
You ready for the citation, or are you going to mute me again?
I just read it.
No, you didn't just read it.
No, I didn't. Get the fuck out of here.
So what's happened here is the citation's been taken to pieces, and rather than responding it first straight out of the gate, you had me muted. What? So you went deaf? You couldn't listen? No, you couldn't interrupt the fact that your citation was being pulled apart. Now it's into who's read the citation, whether or not the citation's valid. No, it isn't. It's been taken apart, but that's been ignored. So we'll discuss whether or not it's valid when it's already been pulled apart. And so the obfuscation tactic continues. There's a question on the table still that's not been addressed. Kosho's obviously terrified of his citation being pulled apart. Yeah? That's what's happening.
No, his link.
His link.
No, his link. He didn't post a citation. He doesn't know the difference.
Okay, so I was muted again, but here's the citation.
Yep, same do-si-do. We'll go around the same circle. You've pummeled his citation. It didn't prove his point. It's supposed to be proving that you can gather up this information by knowing the focal length or something else that he claimed would give him all of the things that would require an actual measurement with a sextant in real life. He said you could get from a picture. Here's my citation. And it needs a what telescope? Micro telescope?
Micro observatory telescope.
So he's attempting to cherry pick them.
Hey, great. So if I can actually respond now. Right here it says how to do it. It says you need to know the angular scale of your camera. And right over here it says, and then you need to count the pixels on page.
What camera was used?
Okay, so you do these two things. You find the angular
So what camera
scale,
was used?
which tells you the field of view. Whatever camera
What
you're
camera
using,
was
you find
used
field
in
of
the
view.
photo, dipshit?
Yeah, it was the Nikon F696 or something like that. I have the stats for it.
Oh, you don't? You should, because you're gonna.
I have the stats for it. I have.
Don't you over fucking talk me, you numpty dipshit of the ages. So go get the camera. We want to see we want to see all the pedigree information right now, Mr. Micro Observatory Telescope.
And again,
can I ask a question, Kiwi, about that link?
Hold on. Go ahead. Now, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah. Does that link take visual occultation into account? Because that's going to change the angle that you're going to make to something. Because you're going to, if there's something bigger in the foreground.
No, it's talking about celestial objects. That's another problem.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Kosho, we need to know the exact camera, and then you need to draw out everything according to your link here for us, right? Comparing apples to apples. Yeah. Thanks.
And once you've done that, I'm still a bit unclear. If he manages to show that, and then show that he's got his per pixel value for his claim of perspective in this image and how it doesn't work, I just still don't understand how that's disproving anything at all, other than perspective. What's it disproving?
No, I'm going to take him right to where you want to go. That's what I'm going to do. It's going to end badly at the end. But I just want to see if these numpty dipshits know what they're talking about. Of course, I already know they don't. Everyone does. But I want to take them there. You suddenly went all silent on us. You going to find out what camera it is, Kosho?
He knows. He told me. The stats here on my computer. When I told you that, you muted me.
I didn't mute you.
Stats.
I didn't mute you.
Yeah, you did. You muted me right when I told you I had.
Okay, stop. Okay, you know the camera.
Yeah, the Nikon. Yeah. So here's all the stats for the camera, including the field of view.
Good.
Okay. Now that you have this, all you gotta do is look at the image.
No, stop. Sorry, how many times have I got to do this, Kosho? As much as you want to ascribe this to us as our claim, and then give us a little order about how we're going to be proving your little proofsy that you're burning as a straw man. No, Kosho. You need to toddle off and do the maths. You need to go and look at the picture. And when you do it and you present it, we'll say, so you're burning this as a straw man then? Because no flat earther's using this to claim that Earth's flat. It's just some shite you've put together. But once you've done the maths, because he's not going to be, well, that's up to QE or anybody else for that matter. But I'm saying, this ain't our claim, mate. As much as you're desperately trying to ascribe it to us, you've done it all show. The entire live show, all you tried to do was ascribe this to us as our claim. Why? Because some fuckwit called Ranty has seen the light with this picture. Suddenly that means that general stereotyping fallacy applies and we all claim it, do we? So therefore we should all convert back because we all held it as a flat earth proof, did we? No, man, this is just a straw man, Kosho. It's never going to get ascribed. You're never going to point the finger at me and tell me that all I need to do is go and calculate the pixels based on your link. Now, I'll be telling you need to do it. And so do the people who are claiming it. And when they do, I'll point out that, well, I'm not claiming that, so who cares?
Yeah, I'm not telling you to do anything, Nathan. I'm explaining to you how you would figure out the angular size of an object.
How we would?
In this very simple method.
Excellent. So that's how you'll be doing it then, as it's your little straw man that you'll be burning. And I'll point that out when you come back having done the maths that you'll be doing. Because I won't be doing it. It's not my proof, see, dickhead. My claim is it debunks a sphere because it's a black swan. And I gave you the argument, you ignored it. You claimed refraction. You used proof C's that assumed R in the first instance. You got all of those things out of the way and then told me I wasn't listening to you and muting you. You did every trick in the book to avoid the fact that the image we're discussing, beyond your little straw man that you're trying to burn, disproves Earth's a sphere based on your own calculations. You're ignoring that and desperately trying to ascribe this straw man constantly and telling us what we would do. No, we won't be, mate. You can, though, and we expect you to, given it's your claim.
Nathan, it's more than simple to look at an image and see which one appears smaller and which one appears bigger. I'm sorry, you can't do that.
And sorry, do flat earthers do that and then say Earth is flat at the end for you to debunk it?
All that needs to be done.
Did you hear what I asked? I'll repeat it because he's ignored me after a short pause, and now he's going to talk incessantly and claim maybe I'm muting him. So I'll ask again. Who on the flat Earth side takes this and applies perspective only as a proof of flat Earth for you to debunk that assertion? Who has done that? I'll answer no.
We look at the horizon and go, where is it?
Yeah, nobody has applied perspective only.
So why would you debunk it as a flat Earth claim? So why would you debunk it as a flat Earth claim then?
All right. Well, I don't know why you talk over every response. Like,
fuck my balls, you stupid dick. Yeah? Why would you debunk it as a flat Earth claim then?
Listen to what he's saying, Kosho. We haven't made any claim like that. One person did.
No one's saying that you made any claim.
So why are you trying to debunk it then? So why are you trying to debunk it then? It's a straw man. That's all it is. I keep telling you.
I'm not going to attempt to respond anymore, man.
Like I give a shit. You seem to think that that's going to work. Like I'm going to go, oh no, Kosho, please stay. Please tell us the horizon isn't what you're arguing. We really need you here. I couldn't give a crap. All you seem to be concerned about is one stupid man's opinion of this little photo when us, in the here and now, using it as a debunking of the sphere. You're ignoring that and saying, well, one man holds it up, therefore we're really thoroughly investigating it. All right, well, that's a straw man then. Generalization stereotyping fallacy then. Because none of us are claiming it. But you keen to keep pointing us in the direction of perspective and saying that if I can debunk this claim that's only using perspective, that debunks a claim no one makes as a proof of a flat Earth. You're yet to address it. Nobody's making that claim for you to debunk, Kosho.
Addressed that at least 20 times now. What I've said was I'm not trying to debunk something that you're claiming. I'm telling you what happens in reality. And I'm telling you how to calculate it, how to measure it. It's fairly simple.
Oh,
it's
really?
It's fairly simple to look at a picture and see which object appears bigger or smaller.
Okay, hold on, QE. Hold on.
Shut the fuck up.
Hold on, QE. Just 1 second. Just 1 second.
Oh, God.
So you're saying you're trying to tell us how reality works, and in this argument, it's specifically detailing perspective, but your Earth curve maths doesn't include that, and therefore your Earth curve maths is wrong. Because reality, as you correctly identify, includes perspective, unlike your Earth curve maths. So if you're trying to teach us about perspective with this, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. I appreciate that's not the case. You're trying to burn it as a straw man that nobody claims as a flat Earth proof, see? But ultimately speaking, if perspective's real and you're teaching us about reality, then I'll tell you straight away, your Earth curve maths doesn't include it. It's got whole numbers that don't change with distance, making your Earth curve maths invalid.
As I told you before, the Earth curve calculator is worried about how the Earth curves and how much of the height of an actual object should be should not be seen.
Yeah, and that height not being seen is feet and inches, not including perspective. So you're just going to ignore that and tell me about how it calculates how much stuff should be dipping behind an Earth curve edge that's debunked with feet and inches that don't include perspective. So you've ignored my point. It doesn't tell you that. It does, Kosho, I'll address what you said directly. No, it doesn't do that, because in reality, things change in angular size with distance. So when you say it's worried about how much things go around an assumed curve, no, it doesn't, because if it was doing that for reality, it would include the effect of perspective, and it doesn't, Kosho. So no, it doesn't do that. You're wrong. So is Earth curve maths, because they don't include perspective.
Yeah, again, it doesn't claim to tell you how much of the Earth curve, how much of the object is going to be hidden from its angular size.
Well, it should, because that's reality. You've just told us that that's reality you're trying to teach us. Well, why doesn't Earth curve include the reality of perspective?
But it's not telling you anything about perspective. It's not.
Well, it should. It's compared to photos that include it. So it's just wrong, because it doesn't tell you anything about the picture then, because that's what it's compared to.
Picture-taking calculator.
Sorry, picture-taking calculator is what it's claimed to be. Comparing Earth curve, maths, inside profile to pictures is exactly what it does. But it just doesn't, because it's not including perspective. So it doesn't include the reality that the picture actually includes. So Earth curve maths are just fake, false, Wrong. Leading people down a garden path, not including the reality perspective when comparing itself to photos that do.
Yeah, I'm looking at the calculator now. It doesn't say anything about photos or pictures.
Oh, really? Well, why would it be that you're comparing photos and pictures to it then?
Why do you use the calculator then?
Dipshit.
You can compare it to an actual observation.
What are you comparing it to, you actual numpty dipshit, when you use the Earth curve calculator?
He answered.
Your
Q.
imagination?
He answered. He said that it's comparing it to an actual observation that would also include perspective, though, Kosho. So regardless if it's with a camera or you doing the maths live with a laptop while you look out at something into the distance, say for the sake of argument, the horizon that's beyond the geometric limitations laid down in that calculator. So even though you think it shows you how much drop you'll see, the photo that Ranty's touting shows otherwise. Doesn't even line up with that if you ignore perspective, as you shouldn't because it's compared to pictures. According to my very well-informed sources, Ranty seems to think that the picture that he cropped comports with this calculator that doesn't include perspective and doesn't show the relevant drop from the geometric horizon. So, no, the calculator fails on all counts, Kosho. It's definitely not showing how much drop. It's violated by the picture Ranty's got. And secondly, the feet and inches value doesn't change with things into the distance, like it does in images that are compared to it, or reality if you compare that to it.
Right. So once again, the image taken by this dude and also by Bev, they show you that the angular size of the mountain is smaller than the angular size of the tower.
That's all he's got.
If you look at the distance and the size,
that's all
the
you
size
got.
of the mountain should be bigger than the size
That's
of the
all
tower.
you got. Should be bigger. That's all you got.
Hold on.
No, it's
Hold on, that's a day. Hold on. So you're saying Bev,
Oh my
you're saying Bev has presented this image and Bev has said that the angular size relation between the mountain proves a flat earth and you're debunking that based on Bev's claim. Is it Bev's claim?
No, that's not. But I never said anything with Bev claimed. I said he took the picture.
So you mentioned Bev
And he also
specifically.
said that
Stop lying. Stop lying. You specifically mentioned Bev. Now I'm asking the detail about whether or not he's the claimant. Is he or isn't he?
No, I'm not saying he's any kind of.
So shut the fuck up about Bev. How dare you? Don't mention his name again.
So the
Well,
mountain
I'm
should
mentioning
be
his
higher
picture, so I
based
thought I
on
would
what?
mention his name.
Oh, really? So he is
mountain
claiming,
should
in
be
regard to
higher
this
based on
picture,
what?
the claim you're making, because that's what's under discussion, Kosho. If he's not, then who cares? So also, same principle applies to the guy who took the picture. If you mentioned his name for the sake of argument, I'd do the same, because he's not making that claim. So if you started talking about the photographer that's got his picture in his magazine, and you can buy for $25, if you started mentioning his name, I'd take the same exact attitude. Yeah? Nothing to do with that unless he's making the claim that you're holding up as a straw man. Now, if Bev's making that claim, then feel free. But if he's just getting mentioned so you can tie him to your claim you're trying to burn as a straw man, then I won't tolerate that. I'll get very angry very quickly. Because if Bev's not making that claim, who cares? Because you're making this little straw man claim about the angular relationships now, aren't you? It's not a flat earth claim that you're debunking. It's a straw man.
No, Nathan, it's
How come
fairly
Randy's not
simple.
with you?
It's so hard to imagine that you can't grasp this by now. But the angular size is supposed to be different. The ratio makes the mountain
Sorry, who
bigger
says
than
it's
the-
supposed to be different? We've covered this a million times. Was it Bev that said they were supposed to be different? Who said that?
Oh, the math says that.
Sorry, the math, and the math is the one claiming flat earth.
No, the math is the one showing me that one thing is bigger than another thing.
So you're debunking perspective then?
Say again, somebody was talking during.
So you are debunking
Round
perspective
and
then?
round
It's
we-
not flat earth that you're debunking perspective then. That's what you're debunking. The math says,
perspective to show
sorry,
why it doesn't
Kosho,
work on
the
a
math says it should work one way. That's perspective math. And you're saying it doesn't work the way the math of perspective works. So you're debunking the math of perspective then. Not flat earth, you're debunking perspective. Do you realise that?
No, I'm using perspective to show you what the math says. The math says one number is bigger than the other.
Proving
The
what?
observation shows
So?
that the math is smaller than the other.
And so what? Who cares? What's that got to do with the price of cheese? Who cares?
So when you add in the curve calculator, it's actually exactly where it's supposed
Oh
to be.
my
The
God!
amount of
This
mountain that's
guy.
hidden
Shut up.
accounts for the amount of mountain that is below the tower.
Sorry, stop. When you add in the curve calculator, the two don't comport with one another. They are different. One has feet and inches values for the target, the other doesn't.
He's also misapplying the curve calculator. It doesn't do what he says.
Commute,
I think you're Adam again.
You can make them inches, feet, miles, whatever. It's not hard to convert units.
Sorry, why doesn't it do that? So okay, it's not. Say it. Stop. Okay, hello. So if it's not hard to convert, why isn't it in there? You're saying it's not difficult? Okay, Walter Bislin. Kosho says it's not hard to convert the feet and inches value that's currently used and doesn't change with distance to a value that does change with distance. It's very easy, and Kosho's saying it's easy. So it better be done. And I'm going to charge Kosho with the person that's saying it from your own side. I'll trim it out, so I'll address it to Walter Bislin. It's very easy to no longer use the feet and inches value that excludes perspective, so you can call it Earth curve. It's really easy to change that to the now touted by Katz as a straw man he's going to burn that flat earthers don't claim, angular size only. Well, those things definitely are getting smaller with distance, so the calculator's definitely wrong. There's no two ways about that, and it's easy to apply, so you better damn well apply it. Kosho says it's easy, and he's the one I'll be telling you is telling us. He's on your side, debating this subject, championing the globe Earth, and how the calculator can have this angular size reduction easily added in. So it better be. As same goes to Mick West. Mick West, your calculator uses feet and inches values that don't change with distance. The tower's always 100 feet, regardless if you're 1,000 miles away from it or 100 miles away. Well, we need the 1,000 miles to have it completely vanish from view by way of angular size now. So you can't start saying Earth curve got in the way? Yeah, I know that's going to be a massive problem, but Kosho says it's really easy.
Could we hear from Adam again, possibly?
Could you have what?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I've literally got 2 seconds, guys. So those numbers were a bit funky. I've got it out now. So in terms of just angular size change, scaffold pike should be 32% bigger, and Dow Crag should be 17% bigger on just angular size change, which is, I suppose, what they're saying. It's not quite that. It's not far off, but if you then do the account for ball drop, then angular size change, then scaffold pike should be 54% the height of the tower. And Dow Crag, the one that's the same one next to it, should only be 15% of the tower height.
Thank you, Adam.
Right, I've got to walk the dog, but I will be back afterwards.
That's a bit of a problem.
That's not duck walk.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, you.
That's a bit of a problem for you, Kosho. Did you hear what he just said?
Yeah, that's no duck walk.
Yes, I did. He's incorrect, unfortunately.
Oh, really? So,
The size of one of the objects.
Have you done the maths yourself to calculate this yourself?
Yeah, it's supposed to be
Have you done the maths yourself
0.526
to calculate this? Because we have.
That's what the height of the mountain's supposed to be.
Yeah, you've got the mountains far
Say
too
again?
high because you haven't reduced them in size because of perspective.
Okay. Have you accounted for the weather
No,
conditions?
yeah, we did. These numbers were fairly simple to do a week ago.
Excellent.
And
Do they include the weather conditions? Do they include the weather?
So the angular size of the mountain was 0.526.
Did you hear my question? Did you hear my question or not?
0.49.
Did you hear my question, Kosho?
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why you'd expect me to answer that question.
Do the numbers include the weather conditions or not?
Why would they?
Because that's part of the observation. I mean, I remember doing observations. Maybe you could talk through me like a complete coward. So we've just established that. Yeah. You tell me how I'm talking through you while I make my conclusion that we don't have weather conditions on the day accounted for. Wow, I'm going to need every single one of those weather conditions. Anthony, do you remember going and getting imagery for the Isle of Man and being asked for weather condition information? Because I definitely do. Now, obviously, you guys are punting this and telling us it's really easy to do the maths. Now, straight off, even though none of us are making this as a claim, if we were, we'd have definitely included the weather conditions in those maths, Kosho. So, you're asking me why I'd be asking you. You don't think weather's real?
So now the weather matter.
Oh, White Knight,
And
I wasn't
that
asking you, White Knight. Was the long pause a bit uncomfortable for you? I bet it was. Is weather not real, Kosho? You asked me why I would ask you that.
I'm responding to you. There's no point in responding to you, man. Every time I try to talk, you talk over me. Simple answers.
So is weather not real, Kosho?
What does weather have to do with perspective, Nathan?
Nothing to do with perspective and everything to do with conditions of visibility, for example. So we're visualizing something and then mathsing it in a straw man that only uses perspective. But I'm saying if I was to make this claim, and I'm definitely not, I understand implicitly that weather affects the view of things. Now, I understand that your understanding was also the same because I've got a list made by a guy called Everett Anderson that was referenced heavily by a guy called Tim Osman, and it detailed all of the things that we would list as flat earthers that affect how things disappear into the distance, angular size relationships. One of them's weather. It's on that list. Now, your list had one assertion, Earth curve. But we had a whole bunch of things. So this little straw man that's just using perspective doesn't seem to include things like weather. And I'm saying weather's part of reality, Kosho. Are you dumb? Why would you ask me? Why would I ask if you've accounted for weather? Obviously there's weather, Kosho. And you're saying the maths is dead simple. What, when you're doing it only for perspective straw men? What about weather? Have you included them? You haven't included the weather conditions on the day for your straw man that you're going to burn. You better get them, mate. Because otherwise, well, you haven't accounted for a very... Do you not know there's things like fog, Kosho? I mean, you can literally see nothing some days because of weather. I mean, what kind of a fucking retard are you? You don't think weather's important, mate? You're just using perspective. No flat earther in their right mind would do that. Are you stupid shithead straw man burning assholes so thick that you would think that we wouldn't account for things like weather? You think we'd only account for angular size reduction? My God, you think so lowly of us. Well, obviously, if you think the maths is so simple, that's because life isn't so simple. Like you retards, who are definitely simple. You're simple, Kosho. If you think that only angular size accounts for these things, no flat earthers claiming that. I made that clear to you. Now I'm saying if you're going to burn this as a straw man that we don't claim, you better get it right and chuck in the weather conditions. So, with your maths, your weather better be in there, Kosho. Or I'm just going to laugh at how stupid you are for not realising that on some days you can't see your hand in front of your face. Yeah? So the weather's very important, Kosho, not just angular size. That's one thing on a very long list that I'll be adding as we go by, with time. So for now, Kosho, you, not me, will be toddling along for your straw man and getting the weather into your maths. We understanding each other? You will be getting the maths for weather and putting them in there. Not asking me why I'd ask.
Not understanding this at all.
Yeah, you can mutter away your way through the conclusion. Not ask me why I'd ask about weather, given that on foggy days you can't see a damn thing. So weather's definitely a factor. I know it's not a factor in your little straw man that you want to burn, but you're going to be adding it, okay?
You just asked me if I used the weather to calculate the angular size.
I'm not talking about angular size. I'm talking about your little straw man that you're going to try and burn when you only use angular size. I'm going to say that maths is also going to need some weather in it, along with a list as long as your arm that I will add as you do these things. You do them for the straw man you're burning. Because I'm not claiming any of this shit. You're going to be burning that straw man at the end after I get you to run after the things that we definitely do claim, and we know you know we claim them. You've got a list of them. So it's not unreasonable if you're going to burn it as a straw man that you say flat earthers claim to have all the things we actually claim. Now, what's going to really burn is the ones that Ranty put on the list. Yeah? That list's got quite a few things from him. Amazing that you can have a turnaround on this as it's that one man you're focused on, because it's not going to be that generalization that you were trying to burn. Yeah? So you can toddle along and figure out how you're going to get weather into your maths. Not just perspective, and I'm not asking if perspective's part of weather. No. I'm saying if you're going to be doing maths for perspective and angular size relationships for a flat earth straw man you're burning, you're going to need to figure in the weather as well, because that's real, mate. Not that we just claim those two things, there'll be more to add. But just so we're clear, Kosho, I've made it explicitly clear, your straw man that you're burning needs weather adding into your maths as well as perspective. There's others as well. Do you understand me? Any white knights want to break this silence?
That was beautiful.
I love those little silences. So we'll speak to you soon then, won't we, Kosho? With your maths for perspective, that little straw man you want to burn on its own, but also weather that's real. And then we'll go from there, Kosho, meaning we'll add more things from Everett Anson's very handy list of things that you all understand and appreciate we've claimed in the past that are also going to be added on after you get that. You, not me. Are we clear, Kosho? You haven't responded. Gone very quiet.
Yeah, there's no point in trying to respond to anything whenever you...
Oh, well, then shut up. Any dickhead that thinks this is a claim that they're going to burn on behalf of a flat earth that isn't claiming it, you're going to get the exact same thing Kosho's got, which is sent on your way with tasks that you need to fulfill. That's what'll happen. And when you go and fulfill them, we'll A, point out that, well, that doesn't disprove a flat earth. What you're trying to do, disprove perspective? Well, no, we're trying to disprove images that anybody who can add 1 and 1 together is going to be a flat earther in this example and going to have this example burnt as a straw man on their behalf. No, you'll just be sent away with your tail between your legs saying, what about the weather? For your straw man we don't claim. Have you factored that in? Well, on you go, lad. Go and get the weather data and pop it into the maths as well, and we'll add to the list as we go along. And then, while you're doing that, we'll point out that if Earth was a sphere, radius 3959, then every distance to horizon, that's Earth curve, marked with an X labelled horizon, you're begging the question, proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator, can be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. And that image with Blackpool Tower is in excess of the geometric limitations of an Earth sphere, radius 3959, therefore the Earth's not a sphere.
Are you finished? Okay. The perspective has nothing to do with the weather. Perspective changes pretty basically. I think it's twice as far. It'd get twice as small as it was.
Okay.
You should know this.
I've got a question for you.
True for any ratio. If it's
Okay.
4 times as far, it'd be 4 times as small.
I've got a question based on that statement.
In this case...
I've got a question.
Sorry?
Is an image that has both perspective and weather, are those two things mutually exclusive?
Nathan, this observation looks the same every single day. The weather has nothing to do with it.
So if there was fog, so you're saying if there was fog,
bullshit.
That's total
bullshit.
bollocks.
Can't even see the mountains some days.
Yeah, fog. You're saying weather
take a picture
hasn't got anything to do with perspective. Well, I'm saying, well, yeah, there's perspective in images, but there's also weather in images. These two things can coexist together. One thing can cause something to disappear, getting too small into the distance, you get further away from it. And another, weather, could block your view completely if it was foggy. So these two things can coexist together. You just haven't included one of them.
Observation. Look at Beb's observation he talked about earlier. That's a time lapse. That's the weather causing that.
Seems when he's holding up his little model of a globe Earth, he's got atmosphere assumed and sphere-shaped air to bend light around at radius values that are dependent on Earth curve edge horizons. He's got all sorts of claim to be weather effects in his sphere maths. When it comes to flat Earth, it's no, when I say what you aren't claiming in this form of a straw man, you just have perspective. Because I say so. It'd be really nice if every single claim that flat Earth was made just came from the Globers and were limited to what you thought we claim. It'd be really easy to debunk everything, wouldn't it, Kosho? Shame it doesn't work like that.
It's matter how honest you are, Nathan. If something is 5 times as far away...
Did you just ask how honest I was? You piece of shit scumbag.
Does this guy realize Hey, Kosho, do you see the 30-minute time lapse where every?
Thanks for the question.
Hey, yo,
If
Kosho,
something is
I got a
5 times
question
further
for
away
you.
than it was, how much smaller is it going to be?
Can nobody hear me?
I'm asking the question, man. If something is 5 times further than it was, how much smaller is it going to be?
Why are you
Depends on the
lying
weather.
about geometric horizons not being important? Why are you a liar?
I didn't think so. I didn't think
You're a
any.
liar. You said geometric horizons weren't part of the discussion. Ranty specifically has said that this comports with the globe and the maths thereof. So you're a liar. Why are you lying about Earth curve horizons not being important when it's very specifically part of the Earth curve calculations? That's not a straw man like you're trying to hold up when you only claim perspective's flat Earth claim. That's an actual calculation that excludes perspective. I just detailed specifically how your geometric horizon in your Earth curve maths is a claim you make is debunked by this image. Yeah? Now we're back onto whether or not you're going to hold up a straw man that only has perspective as the claim that we don't make and ignore the fact that you can have weather effects. So why are you a liar? You asked me about my honesty. You've come here and lied. Why? Why have you lied about the importance of the Earth curve horizon? Questioning my honesty. I've been nothing but honest on this show. You, on the other hand, are a liar, Kosho, and you're questioning my honesty, and I want to know why, given that you're lying about the importance of an Earth curve edge horizon marked with an X labelled horizon, claimed to block boats and buildings, and shown in side view. That's Muppet vision in a begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator that uses an R value that's based on the horizon that doesn't exist beyond the maths. You've said it's not important. It's our claim, not the straw man you're burning, and I want to know why you're a lying scumbag and would question my honesty in this circumstance.
I want to know that too, Kosho.
Nathan, I asked you a pretty basic question that you're running from. I'm not going to answer your questions when you're going to run from the easiest question in the world. The only reason you're not answering it is because you know that if you do, I'm going to use it to show you how wrong you are.
You numpty.
You wouldn't know how to.
dipshit.
You haven't done the math.
Nathan, I got one more thing.
Go
I
ahead.
got one more thing because I can't get in here, right? Can I just make this statement?
Sure.
And show what a numpty dipshit Kosho is, because it's easy. I could do it in my sleep. So, beyond Kosho, beyond Tower Biggie and Mountain Smalley, you said you can get the angular sizes from the image, correct?
Indeed.
Can you show how you got the angular size of the mountain behind Blackpool from the image for your comparison to Blackpool Tower?
Yeah. If you wanted to do that, you would just take
How
the
can you
base of
do that
the tower.
when the mountain is
Take the base of the
blocking it?
tower. You would take the base of the tower.
You can't see the
and
base.
go to the height of
You
the
can't see the base.
height
You
of the
can't see the
answering
base.
Question, you numpty.
You can't see the
dipshit.
base. This was Brian's point. It's occulted.
It's the base of the tower. You take the base of
That's
the
what I have
tower,
on screen.
and you start from that point, and
The
you go
base of the
upwards.
tower. I'm not talking about the tower. I'm talking about the mountain behind it.
Yeah, you're asking for the height of the mountain, the height of the
No,
tower.
I'm not. No, I'm not asking for the height, you numpty dipshit. Listen to my question again. You said you can get the angular sizes from the image. So I'm assuming from your Tower Biggie Mountain Smalley argument that you're getting the angular size of that mountain from the image. Makes sense?
Yeah, it does. That's why I responded
So
with
now,
the angular
can you
size.
show how you get the angular size of the mountain behind Blackpool, the one that you're comparing to Blackpool Tower, from the image? Show us in live stream how you've done that.
Can't. It's occulted.
Yeah, the angular sizes that we're concerned with are the heights.
From the
We're concerned with
image.
the angular heights of these objects, how tall they appear in the image.
Sorry, stop. Did you say angular heights?
Yes, he did.
Right, the angular height. The height
What's an angular
the height
height?
of the angular size of
What's
the
an
object.
angular height?
The height that it appears to be in the picture.
Appears to be apparent. What is an
That's right.
angular height?
It's the amount of your field of view that it's taking up in the vertical direction.
But it's obscured. It's occulted. It's occulted by something, though. You can't get that. It's impossible.
Well, that's why you take the base of both objects and you see what the angular height of both
You can't
objects
see
are.
the base of the mountain.
objects.
You can't see the base of the mountain. That's QE's point. It's occulted. That's Brian's pull. Why are you being so dishonest and lying about the question? The question isn't about the base of the tower. Why are you Fundy muting it? Why are you interrupting it? What, are you going to blame this on me in a second?
Size of the mountain.
The mountain, not the tower. You can't get the base.
Yeah, I got you by the neck. I'm going to squeeze them off you right
use
now.
the base of the tower.
You dumbass motherfucker.
So what he's done is, let's just explain to the audience. He's being asked how do you get the angular size from the photo of the mountain that's behind, occulted by, Brian's point, Blackpool. How do you get it? The answer is you cannot.
If you want to mute your answers, the questions,
Now he's going to talk about the muting situation. So I've made the conclusion clear without Fundy obfuscation to an audience. The conclusion: you cannot get what they are using as a straw man that flat earthers don't claim of angular size representations and their comparisons if you cannot see the angular size of the mountain because it's occulted by Blackpool. You cannot do that. That is a conclusion. So if you give any consideration to the Fundy interruptions that Kosho's currently giving everybody, then you'll see a reason why his objection about the mute button is valid. Meanwhile, the conclusion's coming while he's moaning about the fact he can't talk through it.
Yeah. So what you're concerned with in these images is the height that they appear to be.
No, you're concerned with that. We're not concerned with that. It's not our claim. It doesn't seem to matter how many times I tell you that it's not what we're concerned with. You're holding it up as a straw man. Not our claim. We're not concerned with it. The concern that you should have that we actually express is about the black swan and how it debunks Earthosphere. That's what you need to concern yourself with, because that's what we are actually talking about when it comes to this picture.
Just talk amongst yourselves. Every time I try to respond, you talk over me.
You're done anyway. You're whistling past the graveyard, you numpty dipshit. How can you get the angular size of that mountain behind Blackpool when you can't see the mountain?
Can't.
Measure basis.
Just answer that. You're concerned with the height. The height it appears to be.
Answer the question.
It's easy to achieve.
Answer
You
the
don't care about
question.
the answer, man.
That
You
answer
don't care
the
about the
question,
answer. Don't
numpty
ask the fucking
dipshit.
question.
You answer the damn question. Mr. Tower, Biggie, Mountain, Smalley. That's basically your argument because you're a numpty dipshit. So I'll restate the argument. You said you can get the angular sizes from the image. Can you show how you got the angular size of the mountain behind Blackpool, the one that you're comparing your entire argument to Blackpool Tower when it's in comparison to Blackpool Tower when you can't see it?
You can't. You can't. You can't.
Could I play this video for Kosho just a second?
It's on.
Why?
Exactly
We're on
what's
this
being said.
argument right here. We're on this argument right here. He's going to answer this. You just contradicted yourself.
Just let me tell Brian so you don't get interrupted by him. Yes, it's been playing the whole time, Brian. I've let you play while you've been showing it and scrolling it. Yes, it's playing.
Yeah, I don't know if Kosho was paying attention to it though.
Okay, but for Kosho's benefit, just so there's no further interruptions between Kosho and his answering the question of how you acquire an angular size from something that's occulted, Brian's showing a demonstration of things being occulted and reducing in angular size to the point where they're occulted by something smaller in this near foreground.
Yeah. How do you get the angular size now when you can't see it?
Humiliating this is for the Globe side. This is great.
You're finished, Kosho. You don't see it. Everyone else does except you. You know why? You're a delusional Dunning-Kruger numpty dipshit, like I pointed out on the numpty clips.
That's correct.
Just ask Brian a quick question.
It is correct.
Just Brian, on your picture right now, can you see just right of the table? It seems to be like the table's missing its edge. Can you see where the light reflects off the table on the right-hand side of the can? There's like the edge disappears, right?
Yes.
You see that?
That's right.
Is that just the sunshine doing that?
No, that's the edge of the table.
No, I mean, why is the edge missing? You can't see the edge. It's not defined anymore. It's just kind of blurred out of... It's just gone.
It's just that's as far as the table goes.
You're missing my point. I can't see the edge of the table where the reflection ends and the light behind from the curtain or wherever it is, the reflection off the wall begins. It just blends into each other.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I see it on the wall there. Yeah, you can't see it. It just blends together. The light stops you from seeing it.
So the edge has completely vanished from view just because of a bit of sun reflecting off the table, right?
That's right. Yeah, the light off the wall. There's a lamp behind it. The light off the wall is reflecting onto the table.
I see.
Oh, it's Earth curve.
But I'm just saying. There's it's just an effect of the weather, though, right?
Well, yeah, that would be a weather effect, but you wouldn't have to worry about them if you were kosher.
Sure. I mean, but it's an effect. Hold on. I mean, my mind's slightly blown, though, right? Let me get it straight. Forget that because it's only perspective that we claim.
We don't just do that.
Okay, just wanted to clear that up. It's obviously other things going on here that we'd all appreciate, and unless, of course, somebody's holding up a straw man that nobody's claiming to burn it when they only include perspective. But there we go.
Just would like to say one more thing. One more thing.
God.
That lamp in
You
the
don't
background.
understand this image as a proof of the global Earth and.
Oh, we don't need you in here. Shut the hell up, you numpty dipshit.
White Knight number 3.
Yeah,
Gave
that
you too
lamp,
much credit.
the lamp in the background. The lamp in the background is about 2.5 to 3 foot high, and it's only about the base of it is about 2 inches lower than the base of that table there. On the thing, on the table it's on is 2 inches lower. So look how much that's occulted, and it's only about 6 foot behind.
Right.
Yeah, that's great for everyone in the audience and on YouTube, but unfortunately, everyone here in Discord can't see what you're talking about.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But thank you, Brian.
It's not a gibberish anyway. It doesn't matter. It's just gibberish.
Shut the hell up, Rumpus. You're dumb as a fucking root vegetable. I want to get back to my point. Kosho, you had time enough to phone a friend because I know that's what you've been doing. So, besides the Tower Biggie Mountain Smalley argument that you have, you gotta ease it up with the technical white paper language for us. You said you can get the angular sizes from the image. Can you show how you got the angular size of the mountain behind Blackpool from the image that you're comparing to Blackpool Tower itself, sir? You're toast. The clown show, Kosho. This is your death. You better shut up.
Quick straw
Also,
poll.
Kosho, he isn't going to answer that. We can move on. Did you see Bev's GIF, his time-lapse GIF of the tower over 30 minutes? Did you see that? Can you tell me what's happening to the tower? As it's getting stretched, do you think possibly that would change its angular size?
Yeah, it would, yeah.
I was wondering when somebody was going to bring that up.
I brought it up
You
earlier.
don't have to wonder any longer.
I tried to bring it up earlier, and my computer stopped working. Said, "You got a problem? Shut off." Swear to God.
It's a conspiracy. Anyone else got anything to add? Because I'm going to round the show out if not.
Yeah, this image is a very good proof of the global Earth. Invalidates the flat Earth. It's an excellent photograph.
You're a
You
numpty
don't
dipshit.
And the fact you don't
We
understand
gave you
what to
Yeah,
do.
we do understand it.
No,
We
you're
do
a moron.
understand that you
No,
need
you
to be
don't
institutionalized. We understand that. Have
Yeah,
you
it's
made any observations while unconscious?
I don't know where you got that quote from. Your
Oh,
cameras
I
are
got
not
it from our debate in 2016 when I drug you around by your short hairs and fed your entrails to my wolf pups. That's
the,
where I
the
got it.
flat Earth audience didn't agree.
Yeah,
They
that's
thought you
where
were
I got
hammered.
it. I got you
They
on
thought
tape.
You were hammered.
You clown
Absolutely.
fuck. Shut the fuck up. Kosho, before he closes out the show, floor is yours.
There's a
That's what I
lonesome
thought, you
dove.
numpty dipshit. What now?
Back to Rumpus?
Yeah,
No.
Rumpus. We gave him a lot of credit. We didn't think he was going to jump on it. We said he was too smart, and now it seems like he's dumbed down again.
I can show you how to do an image analysis. I've worked out the angular size of the mountain. I can show you where the ground is where the ground is at the mountain. Because I can do image analysis and you can't.
Why would you do that?
And I can't. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well, I'll share my screen and I'll show you how to do it.
Can I ask why?
Oh, really?
Why would you do that?
Why would I do what? Do image analysis because I want to do image analysis and show where the I can show where the ground is for the mountain. I can show the angular size for the Blackpool Tower. I can show the angular size of the mountain. I can show where all the relative positions are. I can model it on a globe and on a flat Earth.
Shut the fuck up.
Guys, I'm asking him a question. But for what purpose?
To demonstrate that the flat Earth model cannot be supported by this image and the globe model can.
What flat Earth model?
Well, the one key component of a flat Earth model is it's flat.
What?
And if you use that, it
flat Earth
validates
model would that
this
be?
image.
Sorry, what flat Earth model?
The fact that it's flat.
That's not a
That's
model.
all it
That's
is.
an
The only
aspect. Are you going to interrupt my every reply, coward? That's an aspect.
You're the scaredy cat.
Yeah, he is going to interrupt every single word. That's an aspect, not a model.
The key component of the flat Earth model is it's flat.
What model?
The flat Earth model.
So you are just going to strawman us and say that when you make these comparisons with angular size based on your image analysis, that's the flat Earth model? Is that what you're saying?
So you're denying you believe...
I'm not making this as a claim. I'm not denying anything. This isn't my claim.
Do you believe the Earth is flat?
Well, that's an aspect, not a model.
Do you believe the Earth is flat?
I know the Earth's flat. It doesn't mean
So
that
you
there's
do
a model
believe the
that
Earth is
I'm
flat,
ascribing to that, and you're not listening to my responses because you're a coward. 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 Why are you so scared of this? Why are you so scared of me making the declaration of the Earth being flat? Does that make you scared? It's not a model that you can burn that you're going to ascribe only perspective to. Why are you so scared of this?
It's flat.
Why are you so scared of hearing my responses, coward?
You're the scaredy cat.
Oh, right. Okay. If the horizon was where it was supposed to be in your globe maths, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But it isn't.
You won't let me answer. You're scared.
I was making a statement of fact. The geometric horizon Earth curve is violated in that image that Ranty has provided.
Right, tell me when I can speak then. Right, so
I'm making a statement of fact. You can listen to it, or you can ask me when you get permission, which you're not getting. You're getting a statement of fact from me, which you're talking through, and then asking for permission at the end of your rumpusing. If the Earth was a sphere radius 3959, then every distance to horizon could be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. The image presented by Conspiracy Cats, Ruhif and Ranty Flat Earth violates that geometric horizon Earth curve limitation.
Answer.
I only heard the last half of that, so I don't really know what you were saying.
I'll repeat it. If the Earth was a sphere, radius 3959, then every distance to horizon, that's Earth curve, could be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That is the sphere Earth claim, as per the begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve mathematics at radius 3959. The image presented by Ruhif, Ranty, and Conspiracy Cats violates the limitations of a sphere radius 3959.
First of all, that's not our claim. And second thing is...
Your claim is Earth, a sphere radius 3959. That is your claim. Do not deny your own claim. That is your claim.
That part is correct, yes, but the horizon thing is completely wrong that you got.
Sorry, it's marked with an X, labelled horizon in the Earth curve mathematics.
That's the non-refracted horizon, you moron.
So we do have a claim of a horizon marked with an X, labelled horizon in your Earth curve mathematics. So that is your claim.
That's Mick West showing you what the non-refracted horizon would be. Do you not...
Non-refracted horizon. So if this horizon's a non-refracted horizon that doesn't exist, it's not a horizon.
It's a type of horizon.
Horizon is a demarcation point between either the land and sea or the sea and sky. Sorry.
No, it's not.
That's what a horizon is. Look up horizon. You're an idiot.
It isn't. That's the
Yeah, that is. That's what a horizon is. You're an idiot.
apparent visual horizon.
No, that's what a horizon is.
There are... If you want to just talk about... We could just talk about the visual horizon if you
problem, they
want
don't
to.
know what a horizon
the
is.
apparent horizon.
Apparent horizon. All horizons are apparent. That's redundant. You're an idiot.
No, they're not. There's an astronomical horizon, and then there's a geometric horizon.
All horizons are apparent by definition. It is the apparent location where the sky meets the land or sea.
Yeah, only
No, it isn't.
sphere
And what's
have
more, Q is
geometric
actually read out you
horizons.
alternative definitions.
Oh, we ain't going down this road again. Fuck off.
He has read to you different.
I'm tired. He's read to you. You can't read. That's the problem. You don't know what a horizon is. Every horizon, geometric, is apparent by definition, you numpty dipshit.
No, the geometric evidence.
Yeah, it's
No, the geometric horizon's not apparent. Then it's not a horizon.
It's a type. There are 5 or 6 different types of horizon, you moron.
Can we see
Really?
the geometric horizon?
Yes, and you've read them out before, QE, you twat.
Really, show them in a photo. Post a photo with all the horizons in it.
The visual, right.
Post a photo with all the horizons. A visual horizon? You have non-visible horizons?
Yes! You moron!
Wow.
Like non-visual rainbows.
There are
Come on, don't
astronomical
interrupt him.
horizons. There is the
being
geometric
really
horizon.
You're a retard.
Yeah, let him talk. Let him talk. He's giving good ones.
I mean, you just don't see. I mean, you've read these out yourself, QE.
I read these out. What did I read
You
out?
read these
QE.
out to Nathan on several.
Okay, good.
No, I want you to let him talk.
Okay.
And there are several that are not visual horizons, and the geometric horizon is one, then the astronomical horizon is another. But the one that you like to talk about is the apparent horizon. I'm happy to talk about just the apparent horizon, so long as you understand that's the visual one and that's the horizon we're talking about. That's fine. But
Okay.
there are others, and they're not visual. Okay?
Okay, thanks-
So if
thank
you want
you.
to talk about the apparent horizon, the visual horizon, then yes, that does not match the geometric horizon because of refraction. So the fact that you keep on talking about this cross that Mick West put there, he was showing you the geometric horizon, not the visual one. And you've been told this about 30, 40 times. Now, I don't know whether you're erasing this information you've been informed or you just don't understand what's going on. Mick West put a cross for the geometric horizon. He has got in that calculator where the refracted horizon is. He didn't put a cross on that. He put
Okay.
something else, but not the cross. You seem to be focused on the
Really?
geometric horizon cross.
Really? That's interesting.
Quite why,
Can you
even
show
though
us
you've been
these
informed
horizons,
otherwise.
please? We're done with you. We want a photo showing these horizons, the non-visible ones.
All 7.
Right. Show us the non-visible horizon.
I can actually draw them in. I can actually draw in the geometric horizon, but it's not where the sky.
You can draw
meets
it
the
in.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
It's not
no
a
worries.
visual one.
Can I just ask?
How many times have I explained to you? There are horizons.
Thank you. Can I just ask one question, Rumpus? Which horizon was claimed to be blocking the Isle of Man?
The apparent one.
All horizons are apparent. It's the apparent
No, they're not.
location.
The geometric horizon is not apparent.
And was it that was blocking the Isle of Man?
No, the apparent horizon was blocking the Isle of Man.
So it wasn't the sphere edge bulge that you specifically detailed was blocking it then?
It was the sphere, but the thing is, the geometric horizon and the apparent horizon, which is also caused by the sphere, the apparent horizon is also caused by the sphere geometry, but it's not called the geometrical horizon. It's another manifestation of the sphere's position, but it's the geometric horizon is where the tangent meets the straight line, and the apparent horizon is where the refracted curve meets the surface of the Earth at a tangent.
Okay, why wasn't that calculated when we had the Isle of Man discussion then?
It was. You were given that calculation. That's why we show. When we said that the lighthouse and everything else was raised up by refraction, we told you that, I don't know, about 50 times.
Thank you.
And you
Guys,
were denying
guys,
the facts
please.
at that stage.
Thank you. Yes, you did detail that in regards to the lighthouse.
Yes.
Thank you for
And the
reminding
horizon's
me.
also refracted
Can I
up.
respond?
Go ahead.
Yes, thank you for reminding me. You detailed how the lighthouse had refraction applicable. My question was about the horizon specifically.
Yeah, that's refracted up as well.
So, where and when was that calculated during the Isle of Man discussion?
Well, it wasn't particularly important. We were worried about what you could see. I mean, you didn't ask that particular question. I would have told you if you'd asked it.
Okay, I'm asking
But
now.
I did tell you the horizon was refracted upwards, and you denied it. You were emphatic in your denial that refraction was causing things to be raised up, and now you seem to be understanding it. Although you are now back to talking about
that's
mixed
great.
west cross, which doesn't include refraction, so you're still only halfway there.
So the horizon in the Isle of Man discussion is refracted into a non-geometric position.
Correct. Well, it has geometry, but it's not called the geometric horizon. The geometric horizon is with no refraction. The apparent horizon is with the refraction, so it's got curved lines, and therefore the line of sight is curved, and it meets the Earth at a tangent behind or further on than the geometric horizon because the refraction lifts things up.
So, in respect to the Isle of Man, then, the geometric horizon wasn't obscuring our view of the Isle of Man, then?
Correct.
So, when it was calculated as the bulge that was obstructing it, why was it asserted that it was
No, it wasn't.
an Earth
Not by
curve
me.
edge
Perhaps other people.
obstruction? Why am I
it's
getting
Earth curve
interrupted?
edge.
What's going on? What's going on? You scared?
No. I'm just waiting to be
Need a little,
muted, I
need a little
suppose.
time for a bit of fundy muting. Take us off track, maybe.
No,
Go ahead.
I'm
Go ahead.
happy to. If I can take turns, but I know that QE is going to mute me in a second.
I hadn't finished.
So I have to get my words out.
Oh, I hadn't finished. You talking about you getting your words out? So,
Go ahead.
in the Isle of... I'll start again. In the Isle of Man discussion, the horizon that was calculated as being a physical obstruction called the bulge wasn't calculated as a refracted position.
Yes, it
when
was.
we had the discussion.
Yes, it was.
Which
Can I ask
debate
Rumpus
number
real
was
quick?
that done on?
Sorry, I missed. Did you ask another question there? You went to.
Yeah, I've got a few examples lined up where you specifically detail the bulge and its obstruction of the Isle of Man. You also
And it's
specifically
refracted.
detailed.
Yes,
you
the
scared?
bulge is
Scared?
doing it,
Scared?
but it's refracted as well.
Scared? Just got to get my words out. Just going to get muted by Rumpus
Well, you're
before I
making
get my
the same
words out.
point about 5 times.
Yeah, I am going to get my words rumpused before the conclusion. Saying I've said the same thing when you rumpus the conclusion at the end last time's not going to fly. Why are you scared of this?
I'm not scared of it. I'm more than happy to discuss. I'd take you on one-on-one for as long as you like, Nathan, to show you're an idiot.
Excellent. Let's try a third time and see if you tell me that I keep repeating the same thing without the conclusion coming through because you rumpus it. Coward. I'll try again a third time. See how we get on. In the
How long are
Isle
you
of
going to
Man...
take to do this? It's taking
So
you about...
took about 3 seconds before he was scared of what I've got to say about the Isle of Man discussion and the physical bulge that was obscuring the Isle of Man in discussion, not calculated as a refracted horizon. He's saying it is. I'm saying it isn't.
Yeah, and you're a moron.
That's your response? Okay. So, if challenged, you'll be able to show us how the bulge, specifically and its physicality that was claimed to block the Isle of Man, was actually calculated as a refracted bulge.
To speak. Now it's
Did he just rumpus me?
refracted. Doesn't mean to say that it's not.
We couldn't. Nathan,
the
we
bit
can't
of
hear anything from
geometry-
you.
Seems he's scared.
just rumpusing
Why are you
the
scared
whole
of this,
The bit of
Rumpus? Sorry, why are you scared of this? What's going on?
Why are you interrupting me? I'm trying to give you an answer to the
I
thing.
haven't made the full statement once. I've made 3 attempts. Maybe tell me that you're just trying to get your words out.
Right, I'm trying to give you an answer.
I haven't
Just
made the
because
question
it's
yet. I haven't
refracted
asked the
off-
question yet. Give an answer. I haven't made the full statement yet. You've rumpused it on 3. This will be the 4th time. Why is this so scary for you? The bit I also have lined up, Rumpus, I'll just point this out for you as well, was very interesting because you were scared about this question 3 years ago when I asked the same question about the bulge specifically during debate about the Isle of Man. I asked this question then. Now, your memory obviously doesn't serve you well. But I asked you the question then about the bulge and its obstruction value. And I'm asking now why it wasn't calculated as a refracted horizon during the Isle of Man discussion. You're saying it is. No, it wasn't. You're a liar.
You're a liar. You're a moron. You don't remember anything. You didn't understand anything.
You're a liar. Rumpus is a liar. And he's very scared of this bulge that was calculated in the Isle of Man. Because I asked him about it then, and he got very hesitant and tentative then. And now he's calling me a liar. I'm not at all lying about what's happened and what's taken place in terms of the bulge you asserted at the horizon.
You denied refraction. I was going on about refraction all the time, and that included the horizon being refracted. And I gave you the distance to the horizon, including refraction. If you can't, I mean, you may have remembered something, but you didn't understand what the hell was going on because you're a moron. And so you've misremembered it because you couldn't understand it because you're a moron.
Okay, no worries. Show me the calculation right now for the hidden value of, what's it called? Machold Lighthouse versus the refracted horizon, please. Give me that calculation now.
Well, I don't happen to have the information all to hand. So
How long do you need?
Well,
How long do you need?
Wow.
How long do you need?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll come on tomorrow and I will give it to you. Oh, actually, I'm away tomorrow, so perhaps again you're not in the weekend.
Somebody
Well, okay,
scared
make
me.
a special thing on Monday. I will present to you the position of the refracted horizon. Then, if you like.
That's not what I asked.
Okay, and whatever the refracted hidden of the lighthouse.
The refracted hidden. Sorry.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody on the G+ panel. The refracted hidden value was the target, not the horizon.
You asked me for the hidden value for the lighthouse, and to do that, you've got to include refraction. I can give you that value.
That's correct. Now, I'm asking for the refracted value for the, I'm going to be very specific, bulge that was asserted to block the bottom of the Isle of Man. That bulge was not calculated as a refracted obstruction called Earth curve. It was merely asserted to physically obstruct the Isle of Man. Now you're lying and telling us...
No, you're a moron.
Now you're interrupting me as I point out your lie. That you are saying you have calculated the refracted horizon. You didn't calculate a refracted bulge during the Isle of Man discussion. That is a lie.
But you don't need to refract the bulge.
You don't need to... You are a liar, Rumpus.
And you are a moron, and...
Yeah, he's lying to you, ladies and gentlemen. During the Isle of Man discussion, there was a very clear assertion that the Earth curve edge horizon, labelled as bulge, was obscuring the Isle of Man. Further to the 1st of Jan 2020, when we pointed out that the horizon is not Earth curve, they have now started to tell us how it's refracted. Now, that was not the case during the Isle of Man discussion. It was claimed the bulge got in the way, and when discussing refraction, you discuss the refraction of the targets, with respect to the bulge.
The diagram you're familiar with from Andrew Young, that little diagram that we talked about where you didn't understand about tangent curves meeting surfaces. If you go and look at that diagram, it shows you the path of light, the bent line of sight, and it goes around. The bulge is a thing that moves. I mean, you can argue that depending on which petitions you pick, the bulge is different. So the bulge in itself is...
Which petitions you pick? Share your screen. Stop interrupting.
Yeah, you don't understand what's going on here, Q. Because
right. Shut up.
Which partition was applied during the Isle of Man? We have a very clear assertion.
You understand...
We have a very clear assertion during the Isle of Man discussion that the bulge, that would be Earth curve edge obstruction, the horizon, was obscuring our view of the Isle of Man. Now you're saying that horizon, called bulge, not calculated as a refracted rubber ruler that's going to block the view of the Isle of Man in a varying rate, you refracted the targets only, not the horizon formerly known as Earth curve. That did not happen. You are a liar, Rumpus.
But no, you are a moron. The bulge is a different bulge depending on where you pick the tangent, you twat. You just don't understand any of this. Remember, you denied refraction going on.
Sorry, tangent? You don't have a tangent to it if it's refracted.
You're not going to understand any of this until I...
Say it again. You don't have a tangent to it if it's refracted.
I missed that. Say again.
Third time's
Who are
a
you
charm.
calling a twat, you twat?
Third time's a charm. Shut up, Merle.
I'll call you
Somebody
twat as well,
mute
then,
Merle.
because you know
Merle's
even less
managed
than
to
Nathan,
cause
whoever
chaos.
That twat was.
You
I
haven't
didn't
got a
hear any of that.
tangent if it's refracted. Fourth time.
I'm sorry, I missed that again. You
Try
can say it
again.
again.
Fifth time's a charm. You haven't got a tangent if it's refracted.
Yes, you have.
Tangent's a straight line to, in this
No, they're
case,
not.
the bulge. My bad. You scared of this? Let me
No,
know
I'm
when you
scared
took
at all.
it out.
I'm happy to draw a diagram if you like. I can draw a diagram now for everyone in here to demonstrate.
You just said a tangent isn't a straight line. Nathan?
Do you understand what an infinitesimal is, QE?
Don't try and get QE to save you. You've just said the bulge will be dependent on where you draw a tangent to it. And if it's refracted, you haven't got a tangent to it. That's the 6th time.
You don't understand. You are a moron.
That's a pathetic reply. My God. My God, when I say the tables have turned, I 90% mean it. But they really have. They're absolutely screwed. You haven't got a tangent
100%.
to it. The bulge.
You don't understand basic geometry.
In the Isle of Man discussion, you drew a tangent to the bulge. Earth curve edge horizon.
I can't remember which.
I remember that,
I've drawn a curved line. Well, I don't know. I can't remember. I had to draw geometry.
Can't remember? You drew a tangent to the bulge, I'm telling you. Can't remember, you liar. I remember. It's all documented, Rumpus.
Simplified version of you.
What are you talking through me, you abject coward? My God, you guys are terrified of us now, aren't you? I'll just say for the audience, Rumpus was equally terrified when I brought it up during the Isle of Man
You
discussion.
are a refraction denier, and you still are.
Right, if the horizon's refracted, you haven't got a tangent to it. And your most recent rebuttal that you're trying to obfuscate away from more and more was that it depends where you draw a tangent to it. Well, if it's refracted, it's not got a tangent line to it.
Look at the Andrew Young diagram, which shows you the ray of light. There's a line of sight coming and hitting a tangent point.
Yeah, and in the Isle of Man discussion, that line of sight was straight to the bulge. Your now debunked Earth curve edge horizon.
Right, I have to draw a diagram because you're clearly too stupid to understand infinitesimal.
No, don't just ad hom me. Yeah, in the Isle of Man, you drew a tangent to the bulge, Rumpus, to claim it was Earth curve getting in the way. It wasn't a refracted bulge.
Well, I may have explained that's a geometric condition, just like Mick West has.
Oh, so it was a geometric horizon getting in the way after all, then?
Thank you, Fritz. Fritz has just posted.
So it was a geometric horizon getting in the way after all, then?
No, it wasn't. It was the refractor. As I went.
No, it wasn't. You drew a tangent to it.
I talked about
You drew a tangent to it.
refracted rays.
You drew a tangent to it.
I may have drawn that and wanted to demonstrate geometric horizons.
Oh, so it was a geometric horizon then?
But it was a refracted horizon.
No, it
was a
wasn't. You drew a tangent to it, my friend.
I may have been talking about geometric horizons at that point.
So it was a geometric horizon. Oh dear, Rumpus.
That would have been the dumbed down explanation for you.
Dumbed down? You drew a horizon in the Isle of Man discussion that didn't exist.
Yes, you're denying refraction again.
Sorry, you drew a line to a horizon that didn't exist in the Isle of Man discussion, Rumpus. Tangent line to it.
I was probably just demonstrating the geometric horizon.
You don't have that. It doesn't exist. You don't have a tangent to the horizon, my friend. It's refracted. So your Isle of Man was wrong then. You drew a straight line to a horizon. It needed to be bent, Rumpus.
Fritz has posted the Andrew Young diagram.
Sorry, Rumpus, you seem to be ignoring me. What a coward. Your discussion about the Isle of Man is all invalid. You did draw a tangent to a horizon that should have had a bent line to it, Rumpus.
And I was demonstrating just the geometric horizon.
That doesn't exist. You don't have that, Rumpus.
Yes, and then I'd have gone.
Yes! So you have just invalidated your entire argument in regards to the Isle of Man then. You were drawing a tangent to something that didn't exist. That's wrong.
No, I didn't. I did.
Yeah, you just said you did. And we know you did. You drew a straight line to it, a tangent. That's my point. Your bulge. That's Earth curve. Yeah, you didn't have a tangent to that bulge when you argued with us in the Isle of Man discussion, Rumpus. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
How? Fritz has put up the Andrew Young diagram that you're
No, he
familiar
hasn't.
with.
Right, the Andrew Thomas Young diagram explains how you've got a bent line to the horizon, and in the Isle of Man discussion, you drew a straight line to it.
See?
Is he ignoring me? Is he just
Hold on.
talking while I
Kiwi keeps
talk?
on saying that Fritz hasn't posted this
Is
diagram.
he just
and
talking
has.
while I
It
talk?
not.
Is he descended it into chaos so he doesn't have to respond to me anymore? What's wrong,
Yeah,
Rumpus?
sorry about that, man. Go ahead.
You scared of me,
In
Rumpus?
Discord, Fritz has posted the diagram.
Said that 17
you need,
times.
Nathan.
We heard. Do you want to hear my response? Or are you scared of it?
Well, are you going to look at the diagram? We're
I've
going to talk
looked.
about this diagram.
I've
Fritz
looked.
has posted it
I've looked. Are
again
you going to
for
let me
you.
respond, coward? Or not?
Okay, look at the diagram. We're
I've
talking about the
looked.
diagram. Shows you.
Yeah, I've just did, and now I'm going to respond to it. In the diagram, Andrew Thomas Young describes the horizon as having a bent line to it. Now, that's
Correct.
his
Point H.
description. Oh, you're terrified. My God, flat earthers have
H.
got you on
Yeah.
the ropes. This is epic. Thanks, cats. Thanks, Ruhif. You've opened these floodgates. That's why we're talking about the Isle of Man. That's why I put your face on it, Ruhif. You were there, man. You were there. Well, you drew tangents to the horizon now, didn't you? To that bulge that you claim got in the way of the Isle of Man? Well, according to Rumpus, he's now demanding that we look at Andrew Thomas Young's bent line to a horizon.
Yeah, exactly, and that shows you.
Yeah, that shows you how you didn't do that. You drew a straight line in the Isle of Man discussion, Rumpus.
I'd have done both. One to explain.
You'd have done both. You didn't, though, did you? That was my point originally. You didn't draw a bent line to a refracted bulge, Rumpus. You didn't do that.
As well to explain to you how it works. There are two in this diagram, aren't there? Can you see?
There weren't two horizons in the Isle of Man discussion. There was just one with a tangent line drawn to it, and that horizon doesn't exist. There wasn't two horizons in the Isle of Man. Anyone in G Plus remember there being a second horizon asserted in the Isle of Man discussion?
Nope.
Only the one.
I remember Rumpus uttering that, and then we were just bluffed, like, what? And he pointed at, like, there's the horizon, even though it was obviously not the horizon. So I think that Rumpus might have attempted to insert this pretty early, but it was kind of like, well,
I did
recognized
it all
for
the
the
time
nonsense that
because
it
I
is.
was going about refraction, and
Definitely a
Nathan
hunky
denied.
geometric horizon, Nathan, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. He drew a
Hunky
tangent
and
to it.
Geometrical.
He's disclaimed that here, Adam. He's made it explicitly clear that he was drawing a line to it and saying it's the dumbed down version.
Mm.
So just look at
Dumbed
the
down
Fritz
being
diagram. That's
something
got
he's now
the geometric and the.
version.
Yeah, he keeps directing us to the horizon in a model that he wasn't applying in the Isle of Man, and that's my point. So he's saying, look at Andrew Thomas Young, he's got a bent line to the horizon, which you didn't apply in the Isle of Man. You had a straight line to it. So you were utilising geometry that's debunked. And I'm saying, well, the horizon wasn't a refracted horizon in the Isle of Man. It was just claimed to be Earth curve getting in the way.
Rumpus is on a tangent, and he needs to get bent.
On the ropes, he's getting absolutely pummeled by me.
Not at all.
Not at all. You drew a straight line to the horizon in the Isle of Man, and you're now showing us a diagram that shows that you should have drawn a bent line to it, which would have invalidated all the geometry because that requires a tangent line, as per the tangent line you drew in the Isle of Man discussion. So showing me a bent line that wasn't applied isn't really a justifiable reason for your now invalidated straight line geometry to an Earth curve bulge horizon that's been debunked by the Black Swan. You're terrified of us now.
And if you're being honest, Rumpus, you'll realise that you were the twat all along.
I was referring to the refracted horizon in Mick West's calculator all the time, Nathan. That's what I pointed you to, and Anthony Riley, and you didn't want to use it.
No, you didn't. You pointed us at refracted targets that had feet and inches values that didn't change with distance, angular size relationships that weren't represented, and Muppet Vision orthographic view that shows you the side of your own head when excluding all aspects of perspective. Nevertheless, when you did your mathematics, you very specifically drew a straight line to a tangent point called the bulge you was asserting was being proven by the Isle of Man debate. You were saying, here's our proof of Earth curve, it's getting in the way of the Isle of Man, and here's my tangent line to it. And that was the geometric horizon. Not anymore.
The Rumpus just claimed there, Nathan, that you forced him into using a particular type of geometry at the Isle of Man days. You made him use that one even though he didn't want to.
No, I was
That the
teaching for
next
teaching
excuse?
purposes. He denied refraction, so I had to show him what it did geometrically. And then, like Thomas Young's diagram, who's included the refracted line of sight, I then did that.
Oh,
I
the
did
refracted
both,
line of sight.
just as Thomas Young's diagram does. It's not difficult.
The refracted line of sight includes an R value in his mathematics. He's got standard refraction at 7 over
Yes.
6 R. Well, the refraction
Yes,
rate
so
based
what?
on R. Why are you so scared of us? Man, you'd think you could just have a normal conversation. I'm calm. Why can't you be? I know. It's because the Earth's not a sphere. Your assumptions of R require geometric tangent point horizons that you were claiming were proven by the Isle of Man discussion when you drew tangents to those geometric horizons. And you said, look, the geometric horizon's getting in the way of the Isle of Man. Not anymore.
Well, you didn't understand refraction. You denied it.
Didn't deny anything. You didn't present it. You didn't tell me this refracted horizon's getting in the way, but it might be somewhere else tomorrow. You just said, that's Earth curve getting in the way. Here's my tangent line to it to prove it. So you didn't assert this Andrew Thomas Young bent line, because that would have invalidated your entire process, because you wouldn't have a tangent to do the geometry if you had.
Come clean, Nathan. You denied refraction, didn't you?
Sorry, if you had a refracted horizon, you couldn't have done the geometry because you wouldn't have had a tangent point or a tangent line anymore.
Don't understand. I've explained this to you about.
Sorry, he's just going to ignore me, rumpusing me and Fundy muting me. So I'll say it for the audience, as Rumpus is too scared to listen to it. If he drew a bent line to the tangent point bulge, it wouldn't be a tangent point bulge, and it wouldn't be proving that that bulge was Earth curve getting in the way, because it wouldn't be it wouldn't work, it wouldn't be functional in their geometry, which requires a tangent, which is what he actually used when we were having that argument, because back then the horizon was a geometric obstruction. We've just debunked that. So now he's saying, look at this Andrew Thomas Young diagram where it shows a bent line to a horizon. It's like, how are you going to use a bent line to assert you've got a tangent to an Earth curve edge? You haven't anymore. It's nonsense. We've debunked it.
Understand it.
Nathan,
You don't understand
Nathan.
simple geometry. I always referred to the refracted thing, which meant the line had
Refracted thing? No, you never once claimed we've got a refracted bulge.
denied it, and I had to go.
No, he didn't say that. He's a liar. He's just lied to you. Not once did he say the Earth curve getting in the way of the Isle of Man's actually a refracted bulge and not a tangent for this maths I'm doing. It's actually a bent line to this horizon, and it's not actually where it's supposed to be. And tomorrow this horizon could be behind the Isle of Man. No, you definitely didn't mention any of those things.
You need to replay them.
Nathan, how does 7 over 6R give you a refracted bulge when it's supposed to straighten things out?
Yeah, exactly.
It just changes the shape of the line of sight, which means it bends round the Earth a little bit further than the geometric position, as I explained to Nathan about 20, 30 times.
Excellent. I asked you very specifically about lines of sight in one of the videos I'm referencing, and you made it explicitly clear how those straight lines of sight would always be straight.
I was always going about refraction, Nathan. You cannot.
Oh,
deny
really?
this.
So,
Either you've got the
so when I dig out the clip of us drawing a line of sight to what we thought was, you can't remember what we made a claim in terms of a line of sight behind things and we were drawing them out? You don't remember any of this, Rumpus?
I remember trying to explain to you the geometric condition, just like Thomas Young's diagram, and then
Sorry, geometric conditions for the refracted horizon that was blocking the bottom of Isle of Man. Or it wasn't because it was refracted. Which one was it?
the horizon is refracted and it's still blocking.
Was
Why
the
don't you
purpose
understand that?
of getting Riley to lay on his belly was as proof because he wouldn't be able to look over the hump from that observer height?
Wasn't
was
my
it?
idea, that was Sly's idea.
That's correct.
But actually it was very useful because it did actually show that he could get shore-to-shore observations and get
Prove the Earth's flat and prove there's no hump in the way.
Brilliant, Rumpus. Thank you.
that shore-to-shore observation that he did.
Shore to shore, yeah, that's right. Shore to shore across a flat plane.
It was shore-to-shore
That's right. It was shore to shore. No hump in the way. No geometric tangent point.
to circulating rays, just like the Black Swan image.
Rays aren't real.
He got the same
Rays aren't
situation
real.
with circulating
Rays aren't real.
What?
Rays aren't
Circulating
real.
rays.
Well, you're a moron if you think that.
Right, show me a ray.
Well, that's what you see when you... It's made up of photons. And
Right,
that's how
ray,
you
a
see
light
stuff.
ray. Show me a ray.
Yes. Well, you see them. That's what you see. That's how you see things.
I see light.
You do indeed, and that's a light ray's part of that. It's part of a light ray.
So this
You mean
light
a
ray
light
that
beam.
is being described in orthographic view when you do ray tracing You think that's real?
Well, if I put the coordinates of the light ray and the observer and the target, that's how you draw. How would you draw it, Nathan? How would you
So
draw?
we're drawing things then,
How come,
abstract
Nathan,
then. So we're not going to be seeing this thing that doesn't exist, these rays. They're going to be drawn in a program then. Yeah, that's my point.
Yes, for suggesting
That's
such a thing. And
really
then you,
how
for some reason, a
refraction in
few
ray
days later,
tracing,
picked up
Rumpus.
this orthographic drivel. I want you to show the boys and girls how you would draw the coordinates of an observer, 2 observers actually, one on either side of a mountain, and I would like you to put in the coordinates of the observer and the mountain. Could you draw that for us, Nathan, and how you would do it, please?
Why would I do that?
Ray tracing doesn't work.
Why would I
with
do that?
terrestrial
Sorry, why
refraction.
would I do that?
Well, if you're going to design a house or a building or a bridge, that's the view you would use. An orthographic view that has the coordinates of all the points in it. And that's
I
what we
think you're in
do.
the wrong
And from
place.
that,
I think
you
you're in
can
the wrong
determine
place.
what
Sorry,
the perspective view would
sorry,
look like.
this,
So you use
sorry, is
that.
this an
you're
estate
not
agents
wrong.
forum? Is this an estate agents forum? I think you're in the wrong place.
You don't
we need
understand what
slightly
drawing,
more
Nathan.
fast for this. If we're
He's
building,
You
wrong
don't seem to
anyway
understand
with
how to
that.
do something as basic as to draw some things in a diagram. You
And
moron.
why would I want to do that?
Ah.
And I'm not building a
Well,
house currently,
because
so
we're
why would I
talking
want to
about
do that?
geometry, you twat. We're
So
talking
for
about
what
the
purpose?
geometry of the Earth, so you draw diagrams, you
For what purpose?
absolute moron.
For what purpose?
You do know that this is a discussion about geometry of the Earth, don't you, you twat?
Says who?
And well, okay. If you're not participating in the discussion, then you've been doing something very strange for the last few years, because the rest of the people involved in this have been talking about the geometry of the Earth.
All right, you assert that we've got a geometric tangent point for a horizon. You drew it out in the Isle of Man discussion with a straight line to a tangent point that you asserted was Earth curve, claimed to be a bulge getting in the way. Now you're claiming with a diagram that shows a bent line that couldn't be used to do geometry, how the horizon's not in a geometric location anymore, and that only exists in the maths. So I understand what the discussion's under.
Refraction all the time, and you denied it. And if I was talking about refraction, that would involve non-straight lines, you moron.
Non-straight lines to the target, but the tangent point still had a straight line when you did the maths for the Isle of Man.
The line of sight curve meets the Earth at a tangent, as demonstrated in the Thomas Young diagram.
And that wasn't what you used when you did the Isle of Man discussion. You asserted that the
I
Earth curve edge obstruction. Talk through me while I make the conclusion. I would, because you're scared. Yeah, you asserted that that was a bulge with a tangent line drawn to it. You claim that was proving that that was Earth curve.
I've done both. I know, just like Thomas Young diagram does both.
You didn't.
You
You're
just
a liar. You didn't do both. You asserted that the bulge was Earth curve and it was getting in the way of the Isle of Man. Now you're lying and saying, no, I had 2 horizons being argued about in the Isle of Man discussion. The refracted horizon and the geometric horizon, even though earlier you've made it perfectly plain that you were doing it with the geometric horizon. I had to ask you 3 times. So you were doing it with the geometric horizon, something that doesn't exist then, when you were arguing with us over the Isle of Man.
To teach you about it, like
to teach me? Get a bit more exasperated for us there,
because
Rumpus.
you don't understand it now.
Yeah, because I don't understand constant string of ad homs. I do understand. I understand that you were claiming a geometric horizon when we debated the Isle of Man, and now you're saying I don't have straight lines to do geometry as I did for the Isle of Man. The line to the horizon's refracted. And I did definitely talk about that during the Isle of Man. You're a liar. No, you didn't. You just had an Earth curve edge claim to be the bulge getting in the way of the Isle of Man. You drew a straight line to it. It was the geometric horizon that doesn't exist anymore.
A refraction denier, weren't you, Nathan? What?
No, you didn't refract the horizon back in the Isle of Man. Bait and switch time. I was refracting the target. I was refracting the lighthouse with respect to the horizon. How do you know it's refracted, Rumpus? Well, you know it's refracted because of its position with respect to the horizon, was his response. Now you don't know it's refracted because of its position with respect to the horizon, because the horizon's also refracted now, according to Rumpus. So he's had a very distinct change of position in terms of what is refracted and what you can reference to know that it is refracted. You used to reference the targets and their position with respect to the bulge he was proving. That would be the geometric horizon. Well, you used to say, it's refracted because of its position with respect to the horizon. Not the horizon's now 2 horizons, one with a bent line, one with a straight line. You just had a geometric horizon you used to claim was Earth curve. We've debunked it. Now you've got to tell me that I'm thick when you talk through me constantly so you don't have to listen.
Option.
Yeah, talk
because
through every
you
word.
denied
Kick him out.
refraction.
That's the end of his time. Kick him out.
And
Kick him out.
Anthony Riley
Kick him
denied
out.
refraction.
Kick him out.
You're all denying
Kick him out.
refraction, you're doing it again.
Time's done. Kick him out. He's not listening to me anymore. Get lost. Stop listening to me.
That was a massacre.
Right. Every time he brings up ray tracing, that doesn't support your case, Rumpus, because in ray tracing, the process of kind of emulating light and what it does, there's all kinds of things that can happen with it that have been worked out very detailed, like refraction because of a medium change. Guess what isn't ever applied in a single form of ray tracing with all the computer game history we know, right? Terrestrial refraction. It doesn't exist. They can't do that.
Arwen, with all his ray tracing though, Rumpus was always ray tracing over a hump.
Yeah,
that was the point of what he was doing. He was trying to show the rays back in the Isle of Man days how they would get over this physical obstruction to the eye.
exactly.
Even though their point source was below the eye, he was describing how it got over the hill. It was geometric and lumpy.
Yep. And that was what was supposed to be proving that the Earth was a sphere. That was his claim. Look, the light's bending. You know it's refracted because it's positioned with respect to the horizon. Now the horizon's not a physical Earth curve edge to be proven by way of targets in the distance that aren't changing in angular size. Now it's a rubber ruler because the Earth curve edge horizon doesn't exist beyond the maths, even though they used to claim it was proven in the Isle of Man by way of a hump getting in the way.
What he actually claimed earlier, Nathan, was that a refracted lighthouse was being blocked by a refracted horizon. So that means light is being blocked by light, so nothing physical is being blocked by anything else physical.
Proving absolutely nothing. Perfect way to end. So with that, I'm going to say, first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G Plus panels for making today's after show possible. Of course, a massive thank you to all of you in either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member. Also below this video, you can get £50 for swapping your UK electricity supplier to Octopus Energy. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.